On that being said,
Ho, 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 ho. Ho, 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 ho. Ack. What's up, everybody? We're here, and we are in the best of times, belted of times, the most extreme of times. And one day, we'll look back on this time, and this will be something we give a name to. You know, those arcs that get names, like the bankruptcy arc, house arc. This is one of the times that we shall remember in the history books forever. We're here to break down what's been going on today for you. Joined today by someone that got a spot in the June documentary until his detractors sent emails to June demanding he be taken off the thumbnail. I'm still pissed about that. Sir, Mr. Ludacris, hello!
Hello. Yeah, I'm pissed about it too, but of course I'm Mr. Ludacris. I'm not allowed to have nice things. That's the way it is.
Yeah. The legend himself, Mr. Ludacris. Of course, we have Steve of the Dead in the house. Hello, Steve.
Sorry, I was hyper-focused.
Hyper-focused on a few things. I will turn up, Steve. I know. We also have the one, the only, the Meerkat Mob. Hello.
Yes. Hello, everybody. What's up? Let's talk about Dark Side Phil and
having fun.
His exploits.
And obviously today was a big day, huge day, massive day. The documentary's been dropping. Then we got this. I mean, yesterday was one of the most impactful days, single day in a long fucking time, because it started out with an interview that Phil thought was going to go one way. It's going to be a nice easy roll down to a felt like you got with. Well, he didn't get the Keemstar a felt, but you know what I'm saying. Get a nice easy, just jovial chat with a friend that now loves me. That did not end up happening, unfortunately, for our boy here. So let's get to it. Let's start right now. So first, we got a retro style react, which is very funny. I think definitely worth showing here today. So not that one, this one. So this is from many moons ago, and this is just something a little cool to hear based on what happened yesterday, and you know what's going on today. Here we go.
These. Oh, and this is my other TV. This is my old TV that I used to use. It's a tube TV. You see it's got the side scrollers logo up there for the podcast that they have on Screw Attack. That's from when I met those guys at MagFest in 2007. They were pretty cool. That was back when Craig and Tom were still together, before they got into a business disagreement and ended up never being friends again, which is great, because that's why you never mix business and friendship.
Never do that.
That kind of shit always happens, and then you end up getting fucked over and losing lifelong friends. But anyway, yeah, this is the TV I've played. I brought this TV to tournaments as well. In a case where I didn't have enough setups or whatever, and this is a really good TV for some of the games that were on Dreamcast and PlayStation 2. Like, oh my god, these. Oh.
So there we go. Don't miss business and pleasure, guys. Obviously, Phil knows the best because obviously the side scrollers went the way of him and John Rambo. Wasn't exactly the same thing, but you know how it is. So I guess we should start. Meerkat, where do you want to start today? You're the master of ceremonies. Where do you want to start?
You know what's really fucking interesting?
Mm-hmm.
We've been live for like 5 minutes now, and nobody at all mentioned that this guy admitted he's down from the rafters. Because genuinely, it's absolutely not surprising to anybody. So I guess we should just start off with that one, because it's a big bombshell that dropped, even though it's not big and basically nobody cares. Yes, breaking news. He was cornered by the June the King documentary that pieces together all the evidence against him and basically exposes that he's been lying for almost 7 years straight, that he was the account They Call Me DSP / The Gun Show 86 / Down from the Rafters. And he made a 30-minute video explaining why he lied to everybody and why he committed bankruptcy fraud and lied to the government. And basically told everyone that they don't have to believe him because he's a big liar. And also he said he sold the account years ago, which I personally don't believe, because obviously this guy's a fat, disgusting liar. So what do you guys think? Where do we begin?
Let's go to a cope. Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's a cope, Meerkat. That's a cope. You are coping. That's one of our new favorite words. That's one of our new favorite words, isn't it? That's a cope. I just disagreed with you. How was that a cope? But anyways, let's go to Sir Chris here. Sir Mr. Chris, actually, I think is the right way to pronounce his name for full respect. So Sir Mr. Chris, someone that's been in this space for many, many years, was there for the beginning of the mobile game arc. What were your thoughts when Philip admitted to being the one, the only, the most hype mobile game player in the world, down from the rafters?
Well, first of all, I've done a video on this today. I haven't uploaded it. I'm uploading it tomorrow.
Okay.
But, so I've been talking about it a lot to myself today. I had two kind of first of all, it's predictable as fuck, isn't it? We all knew.
Yes.
But then I was also, I found it infuriating in the way in which he told it, because obviously he's admitting it.
Hmm.
But then he's like, but I sold the account, you guys, so it's not my account anymore. If you're going to come out and admit it, at least admit it, because the story he told about selling the account obviously is bullshit. It doesn't add up. It's like, he sold it to a third party. His login streak for 7 years never got fucked up or anything. So it went to this third party. Within a second, they sold it. This new person supposedly bought it and started spending on it like a crazy person right away, allegedly. And it's like, dude, come on. You expect us to be... He's like... Anyone who doesn't believe me is a fucking idiot. But it's like you're spewing all this bullshit on a video where you've just admitted you've been lying for 7 years. Why should anyone fucking believe you?
It's okay. Before we get Steve's take on this, on that note, this person was scared to show a username for fear of endangering his family, but selling a mobile account and everything that goes into that on a third-party website, which is not, official in any way. It's a dense TOS to do that. Philip's going to that, let's call it a gray market to do that. In addition to all the other evidence we have. But that's just, it's tough to believe that for me. But Steve, what's your thoughts on this? When he admitted to be down from the rafters, which we all, of course, didn't know was really him.
I mean, we knew. So just all I felt like, yeah, Meerkat was right. It was just like whatever. We knew at that point. It should have been this huge, massive thing, and instead it's like, well, duh. But just like quick comment on the fact that he claims he sold it. Obviously, he's doing it without providing any evidence. So once again, you're in the position of it. Do you trust Phil, whose source is basically trust me? I said so trust me. Or do you sort of think, well, if you are down from the rafters, how has that endangered your family now? What's changed about your family's safety that meant you couldn't release this previously? You couldn't admit to this on side scrollers. You couldn't say at any point during the last 4 or 5 years when you've been confronted. What changed? What was it about your family that's at risk from this information now?
And it's like, I know, it's so stupid to even think about this. They have to believe his side because it's impossible. Like with all the other stuff, the bank leaks and stuff, that person that's not him also is an insanely addicted person to mobile games. Come on. That's what you have to believe. I know it's hard, guys. Follow this. If you think that's not him, you have to also then believe the person on Kiwi Farms called with Philip's number or whatever, they had to get social engineered that, is an insane addict to mobile games, and also goes to Curls and Twirls, and also goes to Burger King on Cat's birthday.
On Cat's birthday, yeah.
Let me tell you something. That's a dedicated troll. Holy shit, man.
Also, why this new imaginary person who's supposedly now down from the rafters, right? Why? So everyone still thinks it's Phil and has done for this time. So let's say we believe Phil and it's some new guy. Why is this new guy who would be getting, by Phil's logic, doxxed, harassed, and all this bollocks? Why has he not come out and said, guys, look, my name's Keith. I'm not Phil. I bought the account from him. Please leave me alone. Or something like that. Why have we not heard anything like that? It's a bit weird.
And I believe June pointed that out as well. People have reached out to that person. And by the way, guys, his name is Phil. That person who's in the Discord, they were talking to him in that guild like his name was Phil. At that point, I'm mentioning the timeline is tough to know when he sold it again. He keeps that very ambiguous on purpose, but...
Yeah, that was the best part of this video, because it's supposed to be him admitting to everything, and he still keeps a bunch of stuff as abstract and vague as possible. I sold it. I don't know, like a couple years ago. I spent a good amount of money on it. Still, no exact figure. Yeah, we know nothing. But he does admit he used to use Discord.
Yep.
He was the guy in those Discord chats that was getting thrown out of guilds. He was at fault for a bunch of people getting doxxed, but he didn't care until they actually kicked him out of the guild.
Yep.
He's the one who went to the admins, the Scopely people, and said, "Can you change my name?"
Yeah, and they did it wrong the first time because, you know, at first they changed it to the gun show, but they did it before he was ready, before the agreed time, so people could still track him.
Dude, he Karened out on Scopely. I was like, I thought maybe Scopely would, avoid the storm of this Karen, but no, he said, yeah, Scopleys are idiots, and they did it on the wrong day, idiots. Like, you're bitching on them? God damn, dude. Is there any company you won't be Karen out with? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, how, like you said, how pissed he is at them. Like, this is something they should know how to do. How many people do you know have scammed people and had to change their account, and you fucked it up? Like, it's a common fucking thing. Like, oh, sorry, man, we didn't follow procedure on this one. What a fucking idiot.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. Most of the people who play the game have detractors of some form.
Yeah,
We deal
deal with this all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's kind of not, I mean, again, anyone with a brain knows he was lying, but it is funny now to think about. Down from the rafters? What? What is that?
Because it's coming down from the rafters.
Because that was him.
The galaxy-brained idea. One of the highest IQ moments he's ever had is admitting to this the day before he's going to have an interview with a guy who he lied to for 5 hours straight about this exact thing.
Dude. And Craig pointed that out too.
That dude was upset.
Okay, yeah. That's a whole other thing.
Jumping ahead, aren't we?
But it's incredible. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, I don't know about you guys, but did you get annoyed by, he did it twice. He did it with the bank leaks, and then he did it with saying, you know, I admitted that was my account, but it's not anymore. And he had this attitude of, why would I lie? I've just told you it was my account, so why would I lie? And it's like, you would lie because obviously if everyone is believing your bullshit story, that means you can now go off into the sunset and play Down for the Rafters in peace, and you can continue to spend money and then not get blamed for it. It's like, it's obvious why you'd fucking lie.
That fact that you're pathological as well. The fact that your lies are done to manipulate, they have a motivation.
Yeah, to ask why would I lie in a video where he's confessing to lying for 7 years? Like, me, the honest man, why would I lie?
That was so wild. Like, I could not believe what he was saying on that part. Your mind is blown. Why would I lie? After spending 15 hours this week explaining all of your lies. Why would I
sometimes
lie,
lying about them?
Yeah. And lying
like, I don't believe what
ones.
you said about Panda.
Are we going? Is this what we're saying? Why would I lie? Because, guys, like I said, I admitted to it, so therefore, why would I lie about it anymore? Because you still, well, first of all, you're still lying about how much it is. And also, it sounds better to say, hey, I spent some money, but we don't know how much it is, than it does to say however much it is, $40,000 or whatever that Secret Limited said, or $100,000, whatever it is. Why would I lie? That's what we're going to go with? Why would I lie? Man. When you
Why would I lie? I've changed and grown since then. I'm a different person now.
And admitting to still playing it, by the way. Still playing. There's no stopping of playing. Never. Right? And, okay, and I mean, obviously there's so much facts to go through that it's still him. For example, phone. For example, him saying I played for 7.5 years. For example, saying I have that one female character on my other account that is you have to whale out on to get. And he had that in Down from the Rafters, also had that on his account. So not only is Down from the Rafters, you know, keeping the login streak going endlessly, but he also gets the same wrestlers as DSP at the same times. It's wild, man. It's wild.
Hey, do you know what would be like really funny is if at the end one day Phil does a debunked stream and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Down the Rafters, and he brings out someone that looks identical to him, like his twin. He's literally just like him in every way. He's like, see? It isn't me.
That fucking the fucking Sting or whoever that is, taking the mask off and then it's him again. That's so good. That was so fucking good. I was like, that's perfect.
You know what makes a lot of sense? For me to be addicted to a game, spend tens of thousands of dollars, sell my account for pennies, and then start over. That makes a lot of sense. Because he made a new account, a new private account that he's playing off stream, but he's going to start from the beginning. And those accounts, they don't go for very much. They go for a couple of $100. It's nowhere near as much as he spent. It's absolutely crazy that he sold it. It makes absolutely no sense. Because you know what he does when he's low on money? He just fucking begs for it and then people give it to him. He doesn't have to do that.
Can we also talk about like the wording that he used when he was submitting this? Because he said, as of today, I no longer have this access to this account. And then said, also, I sold it when I was desperate for money. And it's like, well, as of today means you sold it today. You know, that means like yesterday you still had access to it. It's not just a fancy way of saying currently, Phil. It means like as of this moment, as of today, I've not got it anymore. But I had it yesterday. But you can't be needing money at this time, so you can't have sold it when you needed money if you still had access to it. And it's just like the more he lies, the worse it gets.
Yes.
And this is what he calls moving the goalpost. But the thing is, these are questions that are brought up by the inadequacy of his explanations. They don't disprove anything, so you're just left with more questions.
Yeah, you're right. But I think he was actually just trying to say currently. Because when he said as of today, he was making like a big speech, so it makes it sound more grand, as if it's like a big reveal. Yep. So I think he genuinely tried to just say currently.
He kept saying
like, think again, so yeah.
You guys ready for this, guys? I've never said this before. You guys ready for this? Here we go, guys. I'm gonna say it. I am down for the rafters, and then he talks for 40 minutes where no one can even understand what he's talking about anymore. He goes down so many, excuse me, stealing from June the King, a superbly long-winded explanation that you cannot keep track of. It's like, what are we talking about anymore? I don't even know what the question was anymore.
I guess you can say that whole filibustering was a textbook definition of an offshoot of something meaningful.
And yes, not enough people are saying that. but
that's by design. Yeah. That's like a narcissistic thing to just grind you down into being like, right, okay, whatever, I don't care, and just going along with what they want. They just wear you out. So it's very, very deliberate.
I remember years ago when, I can't remember how many years back, you know, when he did the whole wedding scam thing? Yeah. I did a video on that, right? And at the time, I really didn't want to do a video, but everyone was nagging me, so I did it, right? And I looked at it and I was like, he's done 3 fucking videos, 1-hour podcasts each, explaining why he took people's money and then got married, right? And I was like, right, okay, I'm going to have to watch these and like fucking clip them and whatever. Yeah. And I'm watching them and I came to that exact same thing. And I said it in the video. I was like, this fucker grinds you, does it to grind you down so that by the end you go in, you're mad, like going, he ripped me off, that motherfucker. And then by the end of it, you're like, oh, whatever, you dumb twat, just stop talking. Yeah. It's fine, just take the fucking money. I don't care anymore. Like, when I watched that video back a while ago, you could see I was a broken man by the end of it. Like, I only did like an hour of it. I was like, fucking hell, this is just so pathetic.
Like, okay, you stole the money. Fine. Just finish the video.
More. You can see it in June. He starts off sort of like fairly even-handedly, and by the end, he's like, you cannot trust Phil and his untrustworthiness. Shit.
Oh, some of those beats. Done. Some of those rewatching it.
Some of them edits, yeah.
Some of them were so fucking brutal, dude. It's like, it was pretty intense. And Philip was feeling it last night for sure. As June kind of, I don't know if there's editorial choice or whatever, but it started out like we're cool. We're just talking about this internet dude, and he's done some stuff, you know. And then it turns up to level red. This guy who manipulates his audience, who does all this shit. Like he's a manipulating scammer. I think called a scammer, overweight, aging. He just doesn't give a fuck anymore. And June's like, fuck it, you know? Fuck it. I'm calling a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a shit, you know? But we are working on getting TJ Gamebox in for Sunday, so expect more nuanced WWE Champions talk on Sunday. Not confirmed yet. We are still working with the TJ Gamebox to make sure it can happen. And when I say working with it, just he needs to make sure he can do it. He's not sure yet. That's it. Sounded very official, but it's not. Anyways, now let's get into a little bit of the Craig thing.
Can we first talk about how Darkside Phil admitted to committing bankruptcy fraud?
Oh, yes. Go ahead. Yeah. Excuse me. Yes, go ahead. Take that one, Meerkat.
That's what he did. He straight up just admitted it. Yeah, that during the bankruptcy, he needed to crunch the numbers together so it would make sense how he spent $5,000 a month on his business, something that people have been pointing out for years. And he just straight up admitted that he lumped the WWE Champions microtransactions along with the other stuff that are actually for his business. And he got away with it. And actually, what was very interesting is that he spent quite a long time shitting on his detractors for pointing out inconsistencies in his bankruptcy filings. And so the bankruptcy court had to straight up tell him to go back and fix them. Yep. They had to tell him and his bankruptcy attorney. And they had to do that multiple times because there was inconsistencies and just straight up inaccuracies. Yes. So by trying to make his detractors look like a bunch of idiots, he actually gave them a bunch of compliments because it turns out that they actually care about the truth and they helped him fix up his fucking bankruptcy documents. That was the funniest part.
What has detractors gotten wrong is the question I'm asking now, right? What besides
plenty of stuff. I mean, there's some crazy theories.
Ignore the crazies, all right? Let's pretend they don't exist. I know they do exist, but escort and stuff. Even that was like proven right by the detractors. But like the main things that are kind of the memes that everyone thinks is true.
I know one.
Those are all true. Go ahead, Ludacris.
I got one. It's we didn't guess that we thought he had a new cat, but he had a cat that he had for longer.
We fucked
up there, didn't we? And we were like, oh god, yeah.
Son of a bitch.
We took a big L that day. It's like, oh shit, it wasn't a new cat. Damn it.
The first felting.
Yeah. God damn it.
The first felting.
But yeah, so he admitted to that, and also, like Meerkat said, he's admitted they have to go line by line through the documents. All right, you have to go line by line through the documents. To all the business expenses. So then why, when people ask about it, he says, I don't know what's in there. I don't know. When Craig asked him about it during the interview, I don't know what's in there. How am I supposed to know? The tax attorney did it all. But then, now he's saying he went line by line through it with the tax attorney. It seems like you might know about it if you went line by line through things. Just an idea. It's just very
like June
convenient.
pointed out. He also said to Greg, I don't know what business expenses are, and then he cut to the the bankruptcy call, and he's like, "Well, actually, I consider a business expense anything related to the business. So it might be a computer game, it might be the internet, it might." So he's listing them all, so he does fucking know. But it's like I've been catching up with them on WPIG. I've been a bit behind, and so I didn't get to the bit where he clearly admits to bankruptcy fraud.
Yeah,
and I'm just genuinely not surprised that he did. It's just like it just fits in everything else. It's something we proposed, he denied, and it's like, well, you're obviously lying. So, and now it's true. So,
I do.
Someone surprised to find that.
Someone pointed out something we did get wrong. Thank you so much for that, Sick Monkey. The business card that he doxed himself. I just assumed that was true. I think we all did, didn't we? But it was not. It was a P.O. box. So taking the L on that one.
On it.
Or felting on that.
No
I'll take the felt.
On it, though. No.
But yeah, taking the felt on that one. When we have journalistic integrity is very important, and I do. In untrue thing I shared. I just thought it was. Didn't you, Meerkat, too? I thought it was just the fact of the matter.
Yeah, I did think so as well.
Yeah,
because I didn't bother checking the.
Yeah, I'm not gonna Google it. I was like, all right, it's no PO box on that shit, so there it is. But anyways,
But here's the thing, right? Does he not think, right? He must know that people are going to check. That's why he's got a PO box. But like, why didn't he pick one on the other side of town? He picked one right across the road from him. Does he not think that, like, we'll check, see it's a PO box thing, and be like, might as well look around for a gated community because we know he lives in. Oh, look over there.
Oh, and he showed. Remember, he showed the inside of all the house he was going to choose too. So I mean, thought that if someone was interested in finding the address, it's not very hard to look at houses that were just sold around that area with the PO box and then say, okay, let's whatever. Anyways, taking the the new instead of felted, the new term is quilted. Hell yeah! Don't quilt yourself, bros. $1,000 of Gamier quilts, very important.
That's a bug roll as well.
Okay, ready to go to the interview? What do you think, Meerkat? You ready?
Let me think for a second.
Yeah.
What else did he say? Because that was like 30 minutes of actual military grade mental illness on display. It was absolutely unhinged. Because like every time he said something that he believed is going to make him look bad, we immediately try and distract it by deflecting onto trolls. But like I had to lie to you guys because, well, the trolls are bringing it up, and like I didn't want to derail the stream, so I just lied. But yeah, The bottom line is he was lying about everything for 7 years. He said people should get institutionalized. They're crazy. They're mentally ill. They're mouth droolers. They're everything. And in the end, he was like, whoops, I lied to everybody, you guys. He also talked about the fundraisers and that he misspoke or that there was some inaccuracies with where the money was going or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then he tried to say that he someone shared with him there was a time when he did say 1600 or something for something. Like he brought that up to try to like own the trolls. But there's like 10 examples of him. I'm talking about the fucking PC, but same principle. He tried to like felt the documentary saying like I actually did say 1600 once, but yeah, you also said 3000 8 times too. So
yeah.
You know, and he said I said the truth once, so. There you go. Oh, okay. You said the truth once and wrong 8 times, but okay, I guess we can just ignore the 8 times you lied.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
I was just going to say that sounds like a massive cope.
Yeah, it does. It honestly does.
He told the truth once. Come on.
I told the truth once. All right.
Also, can I just point out?
Yep.
He's an alien. He doesn't know how human interactions and relationships work because he didn't understand why people were mad about him making his parents stay in. In a hotel, and the whole thing with Panda just completely under the bus. She goes, "It's her fault," and she gave me the ring back in the hotel. That just confirms to me that that's when they broke up. Like, 'cause she's still wearing the ring. She's still like. There's something there, and then her taking it off because he must have been a pain in the ass in that.
That's what I'm saying. That was what I was gonna say. Is it's not just like hey Panda, what's going on? I'll help you, and then she takes off the ring. That's not how that happened. He's probably like, are you serious? I'm in the middle of the stream right now. I gotta come now. Can you wait a little bit? And then she's like, all right, fuck this shit, man.
And then she's having
my
a panic
guess.
attack, and he's phoning her to say, "Where's your car? I can't find your car. I might be working your car park. Where's the car? Fuck it, I'll get a taxi." The guy doesn't. He's not taking my card. He's not taking my PayPal account. All of that in that room.
He's not just randomly taking a ring off. Yep.
He moaned about 3 hours. Sorry, last time I was in A&E, it took me 7 to be seen.
When he arrives as well, her apparent soulmate or whatever, someone to comfort her. She's like, "Oh, finally he's here," and he's like looking at the pamphlet, going, "They already gave you a way to pay." Like, oh, brilliant! Cheers. This is making me feel way better.
Yeah,
I would have been like, "Give me more drugs."
It's wild that he chose to share this story. There's only one reason for sharing this story, boys, and you fucking know it. Is to make her like so much of a bitch that you get on his side. But anyone with the brain can see that what he did is added to the list of abhorrent actions that were shown in this fucking documentary. It doesn't matter if you're not going out anymore. You're still living in the same house, and it is your ex of multiple years. So unless you got some beef between her, like, I don't know, she cheated on you with 20 guys or something, and you might have some bad blood from that, you're going to the hospital, and you're not calling it a favor. You're calling it being a human being. So...
And also... slightly off topic here, but I didn't get to the part where he was reacting to the documentary, but I heard that he was giving more masturbation lore. And it's
yes, he was.
Bro, take the hint. Stop giving lore on why you masturbated in public. Stop. Just make it as simple as possible. Yeah. I was horny. I jerked off. The camera was on. That's all. I don't need to hear the fucking backstory.
Even that, I only did it because I was depressed and there was all this stuff going on. My life was falling apart. I wasn't getting any action with my ex. All that stuff. Just like you are talking to like an audience of mainly men. They are gonna know what you felt at that moment.
He's okay, I don't know if you guys had this. Maybe it's just me, but there was an age where like some people are jerking off, some people aren't, and you're kind of like, do you want to talk about it? And then some people are like, I don't jerk off. Do you? Ooh, I don't do that. But then you're doing it, but everyone's kind of not sure how we're going to talk about this.
Yes, but like 15.
You're like, yeah. I'm like 13 at that moment. Philip is still there at 40 years old. It's like, people jerk off, dude. People jerk off. And sometimes you don't need a fucking reason. If I get the right wind hits me right, I'm doing it. I don't need any reason. And I'm not ashamed of it. It's incredible. Incredible.
Several people in chat right now.
Yeah. Uh-huh. But it's like, you don't need to, how low does your self-confidence have to be to explain why you're jerking off? I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
He went from to use his phrase, coping about it when it first happened, to then like going. Everyone was like, "Oh, you should just own it," and then he was like, "Yeah, I'm owning the meme, you guys." And then he started doing all these little jokes or whatever about it. And then he went back into the cope with his little like fucking. Oh, that was my depression, you guys. That's why I was masturbating. Otherwise, I never would have done that. Like, dude, pick a fucking thing. The whole like just owning it would have been the best thing. He should have got T-shirts with his like fucking face. Yeah. Like that would have leaned into it. Everyone would have thought he was a legend, but no, he had to fuck it up.
Handled that poorly. I understand that, but yeah, that was a classic moment of new lore and throwing Panda the breast. But
he just sees himself as such an interesting guy that everything he does ever has to have some kind of a backstory to it. And some things just happen randomly, and you just do it, and you just move on.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Case in point, with the noodle parody, when he was talking about me pointing at things, and he said, "Oh, he's making fun of the way I point at things. Does he not know that the origin of me pointing at things is that I started doing it back in 20... It's like, how have you got an origin story? You pointing at things. Fucking hell.
Nice.
It's a thing liars do. They have to front load everything in anticipation of questions coming back. So
he didn't invent pointing.
Yeah. No.
God damn. And he also the swaying got brought up, the famous unboxing. That was pretty funny. And he said, "Oh, yeah, they call me Sway at work because of my back." But also he said he's not, I don't know if we talked about this last time. If I did, apologies. He said he's not does not regret making the move to Seattle. And his reasons were such that it healed his back and there's no snow. And I believe that's the end of the list. I'm not quite sure. And also, he met Kat there, but I do unfortunately have to remind you met her on Twitter, so that could happen in the Bahamas. It doesn't really matter. The negative things that happened when he moved were 13 credit cards and a bankruptcy. So I don't know. Seems kind of a bad choice. But yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, just regarding the Seattle Air, when he's talking about moving in and thanking his parents for helping him move and do everything in the house. He says, "My back of late has felt great." And this is 6 months into 2014. So before the move, his back was already feeling great. So it only came about later that he started to go, yeah, moving here is what helped. But his back was already better before he left, because he said 2007, 5 years to recover. That's 2012. So you've got 2 years there in Seattle, in Connecticut before you're out. So your back's fine. So yeah, but that came later. That came after he moved and could be a lazy shit because he had a garage.
And his reasons for the back getting improved are never clear. I know he makes fun of he said like the Seattle Air meme or whatever before. He said like, "That dumb fucks believing I said Seattle Air," even though he did. Yeah. But his reasons are like, "I've changed my lifestyle," and I'm not quite sure what that means. How do you?
That's literally the next bit I'm doing right now. It's basically just stop doing physical stuff. Don't drive as far, and don't do anything that might stress out your back. That's
okay.
It. Also, moving there, I guess. Eating healthy sometimes comes up, not as often, but it depends on who's cooking and what they're cooking at the time. So, he ate healthy when Panda was there because she cooked turkey burgers and veggie burgers and stuff.
Anyway,
just a quick side note.
Yep, go ahead.
Just a quick side note. Thinking about the whole champions coming out of the closet thing.
Yeah,
I understand completely, because a lot of that video had to do with people digging into his life and trying to destroy his family and whatever. But I understand completely why people want to go and delve deeper and prove that he's lying about a bunch of stuff. Because not only is he a pathological liar, he's a really fucking smug bastard about it. Yes. And when people prove that he's lying and that he's full of shit, it brings them a sense of satisfaction to do that to somebody as smug and arrogant as a guy like him. And he shouldn't be surprised it's happening specifically to him.
Yep.
It's also annoying that he never learns from that. Like you say, he's always really smug, and then like he's made to look stupid, and he doesn't learn. He doesn't go, shit, maybe going forward. It's like, when he talks about something he doesn't like fully know. Like with Mini PC and the cooling fan. He was like, he would have bet his life that he knew what he was fucking talking about. And he fucking didn't. And then the next day, it's proven he was wrong. And he's just like, yeah, whatever, some people told me off stream. It's like, dude, you look like a fuckwit right now. Own up to it and stop doing shit like this. Stop being such a smug bastard, and this wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm. It's everything he thinks it would be cool to be knowledgeable about. He pretends to be knowledgeable about it without actually being knowledgeable about it. He'll just pretend he is. And if any pushback, oh, you feel the wrath. You feel the wrath. Yeah, you know what you're talking about, okay? About the cooling fans. You think it's easy to change those out? No. Okay? No, I've tried it. And I've built PCs. They're difficult. You got time for that? And then it's like, it's pretty easy, man. Okay, we got an idiot in here. I'll take care of this. And that's how we handle it, because we got an idiot that doesn't believe my, say it together, lies that are now more proven than ever. You know what I mean? But real quick, yeah, go ahead.
Also, I was just going to say, the whole him building PCs things. Whenever he says that, I always think about, that episode of The Simpsons where Homer's trying to build a barbecue. And he's like, what a great barbecue. Why doesn't mine look like that? I just imagine him being like that. He builds a toaster by accident, like shit.
Yeah. Well, we kind of glossed over. Steve brought it up, the parents thing. I do want to go back there. So he could not understand why people would you think it's weird to not have your parents stay with you, right? And it's just my experience. Usually parents, especially when they live far away from you, want to spend as much time as they can with you. And you want to spend as much time as you can with them. Unless you hate your parents, which I know that happens. There's asshole parents that people don't want to hang out with, and that's understandable. But if you do you want to say like your parents, well, first of all, they can, sleep on the couch. There's many places they can sleep in your house, and probably they'd be happy to do it. And if you don't have that, you buy them an air mattress so they can just, chill as much as you want. And then he said, just glossed over the point where he said, I let him borrow my VW. Yeah, it's a lot, but I trust him that much. You trust your parents with your car and you want to flex on that?
It should be the minimum, innit? It's the bare minimum, and he's amazed that he's reached it.
It's so inconsistent as well, because do you remember the whole, I need to see my parents because they're getting older. They might die at any day. Acting like that, like they're so important, they're going to die because they're in their 60s, and nobody lives past 60, apparently. From going to that to, do you remember when his dad sent him the picture of the fish he caught? And he's, acting like, what a fucking bellend. Why has he sent me this? I didn't even ask for it. Maybe he just thought you'd be interested in him because he's your dad. And he's did something interesting today. Fucking hell, I don't understand it.
It's most people, it's a very normal thing to share things you've done, and I know Philip says he calls them every week, but I'm thinking more and more when he calls them, they're getting the fucking pre-stream. You know what I'm saying? That's it, beginning and end.
Oh yeah, always.
Mom, I don't care about what you're doing with your bingo club. Today on Monday, I'm playing Elden Ring, the DLC. That's gonna be pretty difficult. Then after that, we have Stardew Valley. But is that what we're doing? Because he doesn't give a shit about them in terms of.
I bet he asks for support as well.
Yeah.
Anything you and Dad can do will be great.
Tips will be most appreciated. You sent
me a picture of a fish, but I beat Riven. I've got several characters at Master on Street Fighter. Nobody else has done this, Dad.
That's great, son. Maybe he's getting a 12-year-old. You're awesome, son. That's cool. Yeah. You made that. You colored that in yourself. That's awesome. That's great.
On the Nintendo, aren't you? So.
Yeah, that's great, Philip. Wow, you beat the first world of Super Mario. Awesome. I wonder if that's what he wants. Anyways, let's get to
it. What if he just makes up completely a different reality for them, where he got a job and he's working in big tech or something?
Oh yeah.
Imagine if he just straight up lies to him. That would be fun.
Oh yeah, thank you, June, for bringing up the 10-year plan.
Yeah.
Well, and how that evolved. This thing that should be a plan to get Phil away from content creation just evolved into I'll do different content creation. React stuff as well, but I'm still doing this.
So just in case anyone didn't know, because June kind of didn't go too deep in that, and if once you want to go past level 1, it would take you too long. I understand why I couldn't, but it's hey, I need some money to get me on this payment plan for taxes. We were so far behind, we need money to get on the payment plan. And he said, Mommy, can I have it? And Mommy said, I'll give it to you if you have a 10-year plan to get out of YouTube. Philip said, yes, I'll do it. Then years later, no, I will not do it. Thanks for the money, dummy. And that's what happened. And June didn't kind of hammer it that hard, but that's the fact of the matter. That's exactly what happened.
When did he get married? 2018?
Yeah, 2018. 2018, yeah.
That was
So
2019.
2019. She moved in 2018, yeah.
So I guess literally the next year, COVID hit, and then jobs went extinct. So he was like, "Oh well, I guess jobs don't exist. I'm never getting one." Because that's when I remember the whole 10-year plan was completely debunked. And at some point, he even just straight up said it didn't exist. Somebody in a super chat or something asked him, "Hey Phil, what happened with the 10-year plan?" It was like, "What are you talking about? Is this some detractor meme?"
Don't need a 10-year plan. I had the vest streak.
Yeah, the vest streak. The vest streak really killed it because he thought he was on top of the world. This is going to last forever, similar to what's happening now. We're already thinking this is going to last forever. There's no end, guys. If this continues, you know what, for like a few more decades, it'll change my life, guys. So please, if you could, keep it up. Let's keep the momentum going, all right? I do want to talk about, I don't think we talked about it last show, the fake engagement ring. He still had no clue about what the fake engagement ring was. Very cool and hip. No clue what it was at all. And I know they were broken up, but he didn't know anything about her. And remember, they got engaged after that. After. So I know you could say like they were really together or whatever, and he doesn't pay attention to her, but he did the Hail Mary engagement after that moment, and he made sure to go like this. Engagement. Which was...
Maybe he looked at a Twitter account and went, "Oh, she's actually pretty cool." Yeah, she's pretty sweet actually.
I didn't get that whole quiplash thing, like at the time or even now. Like when he's there, and obviously it's the panda fake engagement thing, and he's like, "What is it? It's just a stupid detriectomy. What's going on?" But then people in the chat are telling him, and he's like, they're really narrowing it down for him. And he's like, "What? It's on her Twitter? What? There's a picture on her Twitter? What?" It's like, what more do you need, you dumbass? They've told you it's a picture on Twitter. Mystery solved. But he's still there going, "What? What's Twitter, you guys?" Like fucking hell.
I think because he knew that sounds really bad if he doesn't know something the detractors know about his supposed girlfriend at the time. He can't take that L, you know? So he just has to, what? I don't believe it, huh?
Like, even there he looks worse because then he just looks like he doesn't know about his girlfriend's account.
Yep. Yep.
You don't follow your girlfriend on Twitter, for fuck's sake.
Was it on the react to I think I saw him say something like, they were like, "Don't you follow your girlfriend's Twitter?" And he went, "No." Like that, like it was fucking absurd. Why would I follow that idiot?
Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine what that was. Yeah, I'm gonna follow like every single breath she takes and every single post on every single social media ever. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
She doesn't post about soap. Why would I care about that?
Philip tried to flex on that as well. Yeah, I paid a lot of money to get a soap business up and running. I did do that. I mean, it's not a lie, but like, you know, making sure I come out on top in terms of the public opinion. But I don't think that worked out like you expected. We did get also when the wrestlers, you know, like Kevin Nash and stuff were saying this stuff, and Philip said, I mean, this is a cope. He's like, what do they get out of this? I mean, like, you think it's even worth that money? Like, oh, trust me.
Well, for them it is, yeah.
Whatever that person spent, they got their money's worth with how many laughs they've created from Kevin Nash saying, like, "You're an asshole" in WWE Champions. Like,
oh, he said the same during the radio bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's like, why would anybody submit this to the radio? Because
it's hilarious.
I still watch that Kurt Angle one back because that's my favorite. You know the bit where he goes, "Jasper showed me your phone."
Oh yeah,
that like, makes me laugh. Just the image of the cat showing Kurt a phone, and he's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, the Jim Cornette one is also a banger. It's so funny.
That.
Yep, everyone knows why it's funny. If you have an ounce of comedic of a sense of humor, you know, it doesn't take a genius. But as we've seen,
it didn't razz him in any way, so it's not funny.
Yes, no razz. We need to pick up the razzing. Okay,
Jim Cornette is an equal opportunity razzer though, so
correct. All right, let's get into the interview because I do have a hard divorce line 5:30 tonight, so I do want to cover this in its full entirety. So I do want to start real quick with a clip here. This is from 3 weeks ago. I'm going to play this without context just to set the stage for the rest of this interview with Craig, if you don't mind. Okay, so let's just watch this about a minute here.
Not even 24 hours after the interview, she came on a show the next day and said, "Man, that guy I interviewed yesterday was a real piece of shit." He answered everything with a huge lie. I don't believe a word.
Excuse me, we're talking about Barbara Walters. I'll get past this part. My fault. Barbara Walters. Go ahead.
Decide for themselves what they think because you were the interviewer and you now have a formulated opinion. You can't do that. That's called hack journalism.
Just ignore this
That's
part.
called a targeted attack, a bait and switch. That's exactly what happened with me with side scrollers last year. And they used that to propel themselves to some kind of popularity. All right. So now that I've actually had a fair chance to appear on a show, I'd like to tell Craig and the side scrollers, go fuck yourselves, you disingenuous pieces of human fucking shit.
Okay.
I hope you fucking flush yourselves down a toilet and never climb the fuck out of the sewer that you live in with your drama politics show that no one gives two fucks about. All right? Why don't you go fucking suck on Melody Mac or whatever the fuck the new hot topic is today with your bullshit drama? No one gives a fuck about you and you'll never be relevant. Now fucking choke on it.
I apologize. So that was that one.
Go
so that
suck
was
on Melody Mac.
Go suck on Melody Mac, dude. Okay, so
What
that
does
was
that even mean?
that was exactly 4 weeks ago. Okay. 4 weeks ago. Okay. So then we have the interview yesterday. Okay, so the interview started. Remember, this is all Keem, I believe, in my, we've seen that Keem and Philip were talking on Discord about this kind of stuff, and was this something Keem recommended? Is this Phil's own volition? We'll never know, but Phil reached out to Craig to get an interview on his new interview show, the Level 1 podcast that everyone loves. Everyone is definitely on the King side with everything. So they started out the interview talking about Keem himself, actually, about how Keem came on the show, and Phil kind of wanted an apology for that. Greg did not give him one, as he shouldn't. You had a chance to deny it. Philip said you clearly, obviously I had DDoS attacked, which is new. That's new, by the way, isn't it? I believe. I don't think he said that before. I know he thought it was, but he never had proof of it, right? I thought, but you know anything about that?
Still, he doesn't have proof of that one instance being the Comcast guy. But since the Comcast guy took him down once, then every time he ever had any issues with his internet, it was that one guy.
Okay.
100%. But it is likely to be him. There just isn't any proof.
So then that happened, and then I come back, and then Keem's there. And you asked me if I want to have Keem on there. If I say no, then everyone's going to say I'm not going to play ball or whatever. Okay, that's fair. But then you can't also bitch about that the rest of the year, right? You can't bitch about that every single time Keem comes up. Then if you agree to it, and then you agree to it, but then you just bitch about it every chance you get. Why don't you just say no in the first place then? It seems much easier. But you could have said no the whole time. He chose not to, but we're still bitching about that 18 months later. Then we move into the decompression stream, all right? That's brought up 30 minutes in, okay? 30 minutes in, that is kind of brought up for the first time, okay? So I'm saying that because this interview lasted an hour and 30 minutes. The first time it was brought up is 30 minutes in, and basically that's the whole topic for the rest of the time, almost. I mean, it's just the following day, grilling the same fucking topic endlessly, trying to get Craig to change his opinion about it when Craig very calmly and matter-of-factly explained his side of the story. Philip, in his superbly long-winded way, explained his side of his story and his feelings. But then they just kept butting heads on this same thing. I shouldn't say butted heads, because Craig is kind of like this wall that has, I have decided this is my opinion, I'm not changing it. And Philip then keeps coming on with 10 different ways to say the same thing. Yeah, but you want to apologize, right? Yeah, but you're going to apologize, right? Yeah.
The thing with that is that DSP obviously came into this with some points that, I guess I would call it a trap, where he wanted to lure Craig in so he can get a gotcha moment. And he knew exactly what those were. And he was trying to get him to say that specific thing just to get him hooked.
Yep. And then, like a toddler, like a child, when they don't get their way, they get a little cranky. They get crankier and crankier. Okay, so let's first, this is a clip here. So this is when Philip is trying to get, just like one example. There's many more. I'm just giving you an example. When Philip is trying to get an apology for that. Okay, here we go.
No gotcha. There's no gotcha. You read it. I actually.
There actually was a little gotcha, but it was WWE Champions. But okay, there was no
Oh,
gotcha.
yeah,
question.
let me-
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me give you some context on
Please.
the whole email thing.
Yeah.
So in
Oh,
the
yeah, I forgot
beginning of their correspondence, Craig tells Phil, "Hey Phil, I don't check this email very often." Phil knows this. Keep that in mind. Then the interview happens. And then the next day, Phil has finally come up with the strength and I don't know how you would call it, the bravery to show the proof that he, in fact, is not down from the rafters because it's very complicated to do. So he messages Craig on that specific email that Craig told him he doesn't check very often and asks him specifically if he checks that email. Then Craig doesn't respond for whole 23 hours.
23.
Wow. 23 hours. And then Phil has a massive problem with that because he would have had the chance to remove all guilt from himself and people wouldn't make fun of him anymore. And he would now be a completely changed and redeemed person. And Craig denied him that because he didn't check an email that he told Phil he doesn't check very often.
I also love that the thing that he was really mad about was that, all this information had to be gathered in advance. And all it really would have taken was making a screenshot on your phone, which is right there, and then attaching that screenshot to an email, which you could do on your phone, which is right there. And these things take a couple of seconds, and you could have done it right there to prove that what you were sending Craig wasn't a doctored image. And when that opportunity passed you by, that was it. It was gone. So you can't be mad that 23 hours later, the guy's still not, I'll accept your proof now, Phil. Now that you've had nearly a day to come up with something.
So, and they told
Craig,
him as such on the show, didn't they?
Yeah.
From what I remember. They said to him, not checking his email for 23 hours obviously is insane to be pissed at him for.
Yeah.
But also, he didn't give any indication leaving that show that, like, hey, Craig, check your email because I might send you something. So why would he? It's not like he was on the lookout for this fucking email. It didn't seem like Phil was going to send it because it would have been meaningless at that point.
Yeah, so this is true. Craig did say to email Phil when ready, right? So even saying that, though, Philip said he's not sure if he's going to send it. So what, I got to be on watch for this email account? I'll check it when I check it. Right? So this being the crux of Philip's argument, like 23 hours of not checking your email, that's what we're trying to like get a felt on, is because he didn't check an email for 23 hours?
Oh, but there is like one of the best owns from Craig here when he goes, Phil, I'm very busy. I have a family, I have children, and I have a job.
Yeah.
I'm not constantly checking my email. And it's like,
this is the best we could come up with. It's the best we could come up with, is that you didn't check your email fast enough. And very thank you for pointing that out, everybody. He wasn't even sure he was going to send it. He was 50-50. If Philip had said, all right, I'm definitely sending it tonight, check your email, that's a little different story. But it wasn't close to that. Not even close. And even then, if Craig said, I'll get to it tomorrow or whatever, okay, in the morning, wake up, and then I'll check it, that's still fine. That's still not a felt.
And additionally, the only reason he had to send him the first email about Craig checking his account was because Phil was scared that when he sent him, if he sent him the proof, Craig's account might get hacked and Phil's proof might get leaked on the internet. So in order to believe this whole narrative, you need to actually just reject reality and completely submit yourself to this fake reality that DSP is trying to create.
It was something. But here, let's play this real quick, and then we'll see.
Is this like the gotcha?
Oh, yeah. So Philip was real quick. Get to this part. Philip was shocked that Craig sent the emails, right? And he said that was he did it to himself. He shared the emails. Another one of those alien moments where Craig was like the most civil person ever on those fucking emails. And I know he said, I'll help you get to level 2, which is a sneak diss. But Philip loves sneak disses these days. We all know that. So the email was very calm, very matter of fact. And Phil said he sent this condescending email because he shared it. And Philip cannot believe he shared it. He shared it because he's not scared of what's in it. You know?
Yeah. And what's really funny is that now DSP is clipping himself because he's a clips channel, I guess, because otherwise the trolls are going to do it and steal his views. He uploaded a clip that essentially, I can't remember exactly how it was called, but I'm paraphrasing.
Let me see.
Is something along the lines of Craig exposed for not checking his email.
Come on, man.
Oh god, there was another one. Craig admits he only spoke to detractors.
I saw that one.
Oh yeah, I got that. I got that ready. I got that ready here. I got that ready for us here. So let me play that. Actually, a little bit out of order, I think, but where is?
I mean, you even had a clip from It's a Gundam.
Here's that moment.
One of the most infamous people who rags on me all the time as an audio question at the end of the interview.
Papa
And
Gundam, yeah.
what I would like to ask you right now, and I hope that you'll be honest with me.
Little
Sure,
dig there.
I will.
In your efforts to gather information about me for this interview, did you talk to anyone who actually likes me?
Well, I think I was open to talking to anybody who would, but nobody reached out that said they really liked you. And I
Yeah, police. It's just been a murder.
I don't mean that negatively. I mean, I said I was
Oh, no,
going
there's
to
a good
interview.
reason for it, and I'll explain it in a second. But
So it seems
go
like you
ahead.
know it then, huh?
So with that said, like, you know, when you say you're going to do an interview with somebody and you say, hey, I'm open to talking to all people, if there are people who go out of their way to like you, they didn't reach out to me, right?
Okay.
So
And then Phillips here is going to go into a little thing about how they know the trolls will harass them in DMs, which you can come up with your own conclusions on the truthfulness of
How
that.
would we know?
Yeah.
I don't think Craig pointed that out either, which was the one thing I thought Craig did really well. But unless I'm misremembering, I don't remember Craig because I was like screaming at the fucking screen, like, say in DMs. 'Cause
Yeah,
what he's
yeah,
saying
yeah.
is ridiculous. Like,
Yes.
how would trolls see who's DMing Craig? Like,
It's
Exactly.
there's so many ways that for them to contact Craig and not even say who you are, you know? Hey, I don't want you to share my name, but here's my thoughts on DSP. It would be very, very simple to do that. You know?
June
And that-
managed it.
yeah, June figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. To go back to that, too. Philip tried to downplay those dudes, didn't he? He did try to downplay those two fuckers. Okay. There's no way we know if this is, like, actual fans of mine. I mean...
It's almost like you want them to dox themselves so you can know. Because, well, at least DSP has their first name, last name, and address if they ever sent him a tip. So he knows who is his fan. All you got to do is just tell everybody your email.
So, you know, your theory of like, I only collected things from detractors at the time, you know what, it may be right, you know, but once again, it wasn't malicious. These are all things that people were curious about. And you have to admit, Phil, when you're essentially radio silent for a decade and people don't go in and they don't have an opportunity to interview you, it's important to flush those pipes out and just get it all out,
Hey,
out
first,
there, right? It goes
flush
back
those
to the
pipes out,
elephant in the
baby.
room,
Come on.
right? When you have this giant elephant.
All right, we
that-
get Philip's
that
on a
everyone's-
cope here. I want to go to something else here now. It's same. You got the point of that little segment, I believe, unless I missed something. Moving
That's
on.
going to just quickly mention, right? Did
Yeah.
anybody else pick up that it sort of did like a parallel to the side scrollers interview in that when it started off, it seemed a bit like, oh, this is going to be a bit crap. And then it turned. And then the moment it turned, it went incredible. And it just kept getting more and more incredible. And then by the end, it still looked bad for DSP. He came out looking bad. And he thinks he did well. And it's like exactly what happened on the side scrollers. Again. Fucking incredible.
A great man I know that's goes by the name of Sir John Rambo. That Philip is horrible at damage control. So when those moments happen, those kind of when you feel the tension in the air switch, you know it's pure gold dust coming up because then Philip is mentally scrambling and he never can dig himself out. It only goes down. He starts trying to dig himself out, it just digs deeper every single time. And that's exactly what happened here.
Can I say something before we
please
move on? Sorry, I was just going to say, with the whole narrative that he always tries to paint, you know, where he says like, Well, you know when he gets an email that's positive, when he's like, "This person has said that I completely changed their life with my content and blah blah blah," all that bollocks, right? Oh, I've supported you since your Heavy Rain playthrough, all that bollocks, right? And yet he's going, all the narrative, all the people that came forward to Craig were detractors. It's like, what about all these people that you supposedly have never shown proof of that you've changed their life? How come they don't think that much of you to DM Craig? It just seems weird. It's almost like they don't exist. Because they all talk like Phil. Every one of those emails that he reads, they all talk like Phil. It's like, you're a very positive person, and you've been me through hard times, and you're very nice. And it's like, dude, this sounds like you fucking wrote it. But yeah.
You're very meaningful.
Hey, you know what? I actually know one of those people. Because when after DSP was on Kino Casino, I received an email, and I also checked the other recipients, and it was the TBS mailbox, and it was Craig.
Yeah.
And the email basically said, "I am DSP's biggest dent, and he won, and you guys lost." And that was like the funniest shit I had read all day. So I know one of those guys. He is real.
We got quilted on that one. All right, let's get to the beginning. Now we're an hour into the interview at this point. As you can see, there's 30 minutes left. Now this 30 minutes is very action-packed, let's say, but this is one of the first. I'm not going to play all of it, but this is one of the times where Craig is explaining, "I'm not saying sorry for something I don't think I need to say sorry for," which is, pretty logical to me. But let's see how Philip handles it. Galaxy Brain does.
Like, there's no gotcha. There's no gotcha.
Okay.
You read it. I actually wasn't going to read the emails. You did it.
Phil, I don't apologize for not checking my email for 23 hours. I'm an adult with a family and kids, and honestly, I was tired of it, right? The fact that I did check my email on Friday night was fascinatingly amazing that I did that, right? That's a big dub, but I'm sorry that you felt betrayed that I didn't check my email. And once again, there's a big difference between ignoring, because I didn't know the email was there in the first place. You have to know it was there to actively ignore it. I did not actively ignore your email. I didn't know it happened. So I can't ignore something that I didn't know happened.
Craig, in the interview, we ended it with, "The door is open. You can send me the information."
The door is open. You can send me the information. That kind of, to me, sounds like I might send it at any point in the future. I don't know when, though.
Yeah.
And Craig even pointed out, he said every email that we've sent had at least a day apart in response.
Yep.
So Phil should have at least expected to have to wait a day.
So you didn't know it happened. Do you need?
Yeah, go ahead.
This guy is so fucking needy. He is such a lonely person. Like to the point where you're expecting some random ass guy with a family to give you all the attention you desire at a moment's notice. Like, bro, go get a fucking prostitute or something. You're fucking pathetic. Jesus Christ.
That's what's so funny with it. It's like the fact that Craig's whole energy is, dude, I haven't thought about you in months. But for Phil, every fucking day, he's literally like, "Oh yeah, this guy's my arch enemy, you guys." And it's like, dude, this guy doesn't fucking give a shit about you. You're just some fucking patchy beard hippo that was on his show one time. Fuck off.
Yeah. And also Craig admits this in the interview itself. He says he got worn out of this whole DSP bullshit and he just wanted to have a break, which I can relate to because I also had to fucking watch a bunch of DSP shit at the time because it was hype as hell and we were talking about it. So I needed to be as educated as possible. So I get it. And this guy is like so obsessed with himself. He just can't get over the fact that this other guy might not care about him at the current moment. And he should.
I can't find it right now. I'm trying to find. Someone said, if I can find it, DSP responded to a YouTube comment and said, he systematically, where was it? He systematically, fuck, I gotta find it. It was on Twitter. Philip said he systematically harassed me about Craig, right? Systematically harassed me? You've been talking about him for 18 months since then. How many times have you told them to go fuck themselves? And you're saying Craig systematic. That's like very much thinking you are a very important person in Craig's life when that is absolutely not the case. And he tried to take credit for their show blowing up, which, like Craig said, it probably got more people to check out our show. Absolutely true. Right? Absolutely true. But is that the reason now they get 3,000 viewers? You found it?
No, sorry. I'm just looking at Big Big Go, and the trend for Craig is quite funny. So.
It's like Craig has, been a huge thing you bitch about relentlessly for a long fucking time. And now we're saying that, Misery Merchant has it. I'll get it. So it's like, that was unbelievable. It goes to your guys' point of how Craig is a very important person in Philip's mind, and he expects. I found it. Big ups to Misery Merchant here. I thought this. You tell me what this means, please. He has systematically harassed me for 1.5 years. What? What in what world is that possibly a possible thing you can say? How? Because he did one monetize the haters stream randomly after Phil talked shit about after Phil talked shit about the side scrollers randomly, like he has been doing for the past 18 months. But yes, they systematically harassed me.
Yeah. Pretty much every time they talked about him, or specifically Craig, because the other guys, they don't care. But every time Craig talked about him or had a stream related to him, it had something to do with DSP taking the first shot and Craig responding. And that guy was taking shots like it was open season, man. He was shooting all over the place.
Oh, God, yeah.
There was some weeks where it would be a daily segment to bring up the side scrollers.
And I guess Philip thinks it's okay because he's punching up, but yet also no one cares about the show, so I don't really get how that works. But all right, let's get back to this real quick, because I really want to get to, obviously we got to get more close to the ending here, because we got to show the ending, because that's kind of a hype moment. I do want to also play what Philip said last night, because that was another, again, when Craig's not there, it's very easy to be a big tough guy, isn't it, when Craig's not there? But when he is there, the story's a little different, so here we go.
Need to have a bomb go off when someone sends you the thing you directly asked for? Would you not even in a moment think, hey, maybe he's going to contact me today about this and I should check, because how else am I going to send you these documents anyway, by the way? It has to be an email attachment, right? I can't just call you and give it to you. Yeah. I didn't have your Discord or anything, right? We were doing it through some other streaming client. So I had to send you an email. All right? Now, here's the thing. We can talk about this for the rest of the show.
We will.
One more, and then I want to move on because this is
Sure. And that's fine. I'm just going based off of our track record of emailing back and forth. Okay. I'm just looking at how we emailed back and forth leading up to this thing. Mm-hmm. Right. There's pretty much at least a day between every correspondence that we had. Right. Almost every single time there's at least a day between our correspondence. So based off of our track record of corresponding with each other, I'm not going to go check. Like I said,
Craig, this is a really bad cope, bro. This is really bad. You're saying we just ended that.
And Craig's face there says it all. Like, what? What are you talking about?
This stuff like this is what we mean when we say he's delusional, because there's like no objective reality that supports his conclusion. He is just lost, and he knows he's lost. He knows, like, oh shit, I can't argue back with that. That's a good point. We did sort of I did take like a day composing my email, rewriting it over and over again, and then sending it. Shit.
Well, that's what we got the whole. Very quickly because I want to move on after this, which is like sounds like I'm getting owned right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this, one of the best moments in this entire interview was when Craig asked DSP to apologize for being dishonest to them for 5 hours straight, and DSP just switched topics immediately. Just like, okay, allow me to first give you some context, and then he just went off talking about something else.
Go ahead.
The best moment for me personally was when DSP said, this interview was supposed to be the answers for all the questions people have been asking for. And then Craig says, yeah, but you were lying the whole time. And DSP says, well, it doesn't matter if I was honest or not. It was still an answer.
I gotta get that. I gotta play that. We can't live without
that clip. One of my favorite moments is DSP's like, can I talk? Craig, can I talk? And Craig just goes, go crazy, Phil.
Yeah.
Go crazy, bro. Well, before we get to the honesty comment, I just want to play this because this is Philip's new arguing tactic here. That's a cope, bro. So this is less than 2 weeks ago. He's interviewing Null from the Kiwi Farms, and there's just an interesting coincidence here.
What I mean, this is the kind of shit that shows up on my forum. It's like, what does this have to do with anything with us? We
Talking
have
about Kool-Aid
no
Girl right now.
association with this person. We don't talk with this person. To our knowledge, this person might have some issues, and so we don't want to be associated with this person. So why is
it's desync, not my fault.
Existing
it's the
on
video.
Kiwi Farms? Is that not like the level that you would think, wow, that's kind of extreme? This shouldn't be in the Dark Side Phil forum. What does that even have to do with Dark Side Phil?
Go ahead, Josh.
I mean, I did ban him, but I can't like unfuck her sister. You know, it's already happened. It's already done and posted on the internet. I can't do anything about that.
Here we go.
But why is it in my forum?
Because I have the event.
Me, it's the Dark Side Phil thread. It's not the Cat Burnell thread, right?
I mean, in some ways it is.
That's a different thread.
She's married to you, and the Bible says that you become one spirit. So technically, she's joined to the forum.
I'm sorry, but no, that's where I got to draw the line, dude. So now you're saying just because I have a public persona that literally anyone who has ever had an association with me in my life needs to get drawn into this drama sphere. That's bullshit. Because that's a cope is what that is. Because you know that having family.
I don't think he knows what. I don't think he knows what cope means. Honestly, I think that's where we're at because he's kind of throwing around these words like felted and coping and just not quite nailing the meaning of any of them. You know what I mean?
He just slams them in the sort of like hope that he sounds cool. Like,
I think this is the one at the moment.
The first time, just
what
like
you kids
did
say
the day
these
before.
days, isn't it?
Yeah, anyone's getting felted here? Anyone's getting coping? Okay, here we go. This is the best. This is what we.
That on me because you didn't. You were dishonest with us, and we smelt that.
It's still an answer. It doesn't matter if it's honesty or not. It's still an answer.
How can you say that? How can you say that? It's still an answer. It doesn't matter if it's wrong, if it's a lie. It's still an answer. Wow. What a world we're in. Where we can say, I answered your question. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. All right.
And this is like a day after he's just come out and said, yes, I lied to you for 7 years. And I'm sorry I fucked up. Like, so he obviously is trying to make it like he knows the gravity of lying and whatever. But then here he's going, it doesn't matter if I lied to you. I gave you an answer. Like, you learn nothing.
All right, so I'm going to move to the...
Honestly, expect me to tell the truth during this one interview that it gets everything out there.
What a cope.
Let's go to the closing arguments here. All right, we're going to move together.
Sorry, fake or can't. This is above my pay grade. Can't explain this cycle. He's a pathological liar and a narcissist, and he's fucking delusional because he's had like a decade of isolation, and he came away from this thinking this was a win. That moment broke me, and I needed to take a break from the stream and just get him out.
Well, let's get to the closing ceremonies. Let's say of this interview, they both kind of butt heads about that topic for a long time. And Philip says it's a cope, and Craig says I'm not apologizing for shit I didn't do. And then Craig does do the thing where he says I'm sorry if you got offended. And I know usually that's kind of a fucked up thing to do if you did something wrong, right? So let's say I accidentally stole money from someone, or I don't know, I wronged someone in some way, and I say to them, I'm sorry that you got sad about that. I really apologize for you getting upset about that. That is a fucked up thing to do if you're doing something wrong. However, if you don't do anything wrong, that is a very possible a feeling to have. I'm sorry you're offended by this. I didn't do anything wrong, though, unfortunately, so I cannot apologize for that. And that's where we're stuck in for a little bit of time here. But let's get to the ending here.
I hope more than anything, I hope you're honest, not just with your audience, but with yourself about the situation. I appreciate your time today, Phil. I got some dad duties I got to get done. Thank you guys very much for your time.
All right. Now, hold on. Before you go, let me say my piece, too. All right.
Sure.
It'll be quick. I promise.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the end. There's no more feud between you and me. Do you agree? That's it. We're done. We can stop going at each other's throats.
Phil, I haven't had a feud with you for 18 months, man.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, whatever you say.
You're irrelevant to me.
And this is so beautiful because this is in Philip's little felting moment. He thinks he gets here. Just demolished right there. I want to hear it one more time. I apologize.
This is the end. There's no more feud between you and me. Do you agree? That's it. We're done. We can stop going at each other's throats.
Phil, I haven't had a feud with you for 18 months, man.
That's fine. Okay, whatever you say. Monetize the haters, but you don't have a feud with me. You want me to play Street Fighter with you. You don't have a feud with me.
One fucking stream in 18 months.
One stream is I'll put it up again. Systematically harassed me. I might be.
Well, there were more than one stream. There was this one time where Craig wanted DSP to come on his stream because he shit talked him. But like I said, it was all a response to DSP shitting on him. So it was, if anything, it was DSP trying to start the beef and get him involved in it.
We can all agree that that is a very far cry from the correct use of the word systematically. You know what I mean? Systematically is like he's got the Excel sheets up, all right, well, we're going to brazz on him on this day, and then we're going to fuck with him on this day. That's kind of like incredible. But all right, here we go. Here's the moment.
You want me back as a guest on your anniversary show because it's going to bring you hype and attention from my detractors, but you don't have a feud with me. Okay? But okay, fair enough. You don't have a feud, but we're agreeing to this now. It's over, right? We're done.
Yeah,
we're good.
It's over. Yeah.
Okay. So, and you were asking me now, a year and a half later, will I be a guest on your show, which was what originally was agreed to, correct? Like, that's what you're saying. It was originally, that was the agreement. We were going to do the interview, and then after that, I was going to have the opportunity to be a regular guest on your show like everyone else had been. Correct? Right. That was the agreement.
And after the interview, I sent you that email saying, like, we were just disappointed, right? And the offer wasn't there anymore after the interview because we felt lied to.
Yes. Okay, so now,
that said, I hope we can move past it.
That's what I'm saying. Now that we've hashed it all out, right? We're all good. You're saying you're extending that olive branch, and you're saying that that opportunity is there again, possibly. Not a lock-in, but it's possible that I could be on your show.
Sure.
Okay, I'm not interested. Go fuck yourself. Okay. All right, guys. So
who wants to say it? Who wants to point it out?
Man, he tried so hard to get him to say a specific thing. And then he said, yeah, man, all right. And then he had the worst mic drop of all time. He was setting himself up in Discord to kick him out for like 30 seconds. You can see the moment. The moment he was peeking at the computer screen to see if he was clicking on the right thing. The worst mic drop of all time.
It reminds me of...
What happened in the end? He couldn't even finish saying "go fuck yourself" before he kicked him off because he was so scared that Craig was gonna say something and ruin his moment.
Go ahead, Sir Mr. Ludacris.
I was just gonna say it reminds me of you saying about clicking off screen. You know when he does that little screen with like the exclamation marks and the red background. Yeah. It reminds me of that. It's like you see it. It's like, dude, I know what you're doing. It's literally just like that again. Also, I wanted to say, sorry if I'm jumping ahead a bit, but this seems really pertinent to say it right now.
Yes.
He said, like, after this in his little decompression stream, Craig told me to go fuck myself, and then he asked me to go on his show. What a fucking idiot. But it's like you literally, a couple of days ago, told him to go fuck himself and then invited him on the Level 1 podcast. So it's literally like, no difference.
He told him to flush himself down the toilet, and not just him, his whole cast of people on his show that have nothing to do with DSP.
And suck on Melanie Mac too. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
And Craig didn't just tell you to go fuck yourself out of nowhere. He did it because like you misrepresented him. You like offended his character. You insulted him. So he was telling you that in response. He wasn't just being like, yeah, Phil, well, before you give me an answer, just let me tell you, go fuck yourself, mate. Carry on.
Yeah. I fucking skipped all over that. I do have the clip at least here.
I mean this with all due respect, Phil. Go fuck yourself.
And he only said that after Philip was attacking the character of him like, okay, I'm not saying apologize for that. And it was very, very civil, very cordial even Craig was. He didn't have to be. And it lasted a long time, Craig being a normal dude, just talking, Philip, it seems like you're not getting this, all right? But I'm going to try to explain it in as many different ways as I can for you to get it. And then Phil kept picking it up and saying, that's a cope. And then Craig said, all right, fuck this. He lasted longer than most people would, I think, and not getting pissed. All right, I'm done with this. And he did it beautifully by saying the exact same words that Philip said to him 3 weeks ago. You know, I was very intentional, obviously, to say this is the most, respectfully possible, go fuck yourself. And then Philip, this is not even cringe level. This is like, almost feel sad for Philip's response here of unplugging the controller or unplugging the system. You know?
Oh God, it's like the Dark Souls thing. Jesus.
Yeah, the Ethernet cable.
Because what winner in the history of the universe has to pull plugs? They don't exist because when you're winning, you don't want the plug to be pulled. However, when you can't respond with either skill or your words, you have one option, and that's the most bitch option of all time, and that's pulling the plug because you can't handle the situation out of your own volition. You have to end it artificially because you have lost. And it was very, very telling. That's how Philip chose to end this. I thought he might be working towards a joke, honestly, and I was saying on the stream, like, all right, here comes a cringe joke, boys, get ready. But then he did something even worse. It wasn't even cringe. It was just like, come on, man. This is how you're handling this as a 42-year-old talking to a 43-year-old on the internet about this. That's how we're going to end this, and he takes it as a fucking quilting. All right, man.
Yeah. Also, I think it's worth mentioning, when DSP started interviewing people, he wanted to make a big point out of being respectful to the person he's interviewing, because that's what the side scrollers didn't do for him, and he was very hurt by that. And what did he do? On the very second interview he did with somebody, he tells him to go fuck himself and hangs up on him.
It was so lame as well. He was losing right up to the very last second because you could tell he was going somewhere. And he's like, "Can you just can we just agree? Can you just say the thing so I can hang up on you, please?" It's literally got that kind of energy. It's like, dude, you're losing right up to the end, and then he, of course, like you say, didn't even hang up on him properly, like a dumbass, which is on brand, I guess.
Yeah, it's the most DSP way of like ending a conversation. But
I think you should say "get fucked."
Yeah, quite fucked. Yeah. It was all building up to this, though. The whole point of getting Craig on the show was so that he could vent at him and be mad at him about all these things, about emails and the decompression stream and monetize all that shit, get it off his chest. And then, like, if Craig was being nice, he gets to say, well, I'm being the bigger man, go fuck yourself. I don't want anything to do with you. And if Craig pushes back, well, you're going to say go fuck yourself anyway, so you might as well. It was all just to get it off Phil's chest and then tell Craig to fuck himself. That was the only ending it was ever going to have.
I knew it was going to be good. Like, when it started, I was like, oh, this might go the same sort of way as Keemstar. But it was when Phil said something like, Craig pointed out, he goes, oh, you got a picture of me in the background. And he's like, yeah, as you can see, I've improved my setup, like, loads. And then Craig just like goes to him like, yeah, that's quite an improvement. Like, I was like, yes, this is going to be good.
Craig was slipping some stuff. Like, his facial expressions were very funny throughout. Definitely. In the comments of this, even Philip's not getting saved here. Philip did put this important note, everybody, because I guess this is important. After the interview was ended, Craig went on his own stream for about an hour, accepting contributions from my detractors. Something that Philip did himself in his own decompression stream about Craig, right?
Buddy, you told the guy to go fuck himself and you kicked him off the call publicly. Of course he's going to do that. I would do that too.
I think he's just mad that he wasn't like busy with family stuff for the next 3 hours or something. That's like the vibe I get from that. Like, he told me he had family stuff and that's why he had to go. And then I see him on stream and it's like, well, yeah, maybe he had family stuff, but the fact that you just told him to go fuck himself and hung up on him has taken a bit of precedence, and he needs to sort of get something off his chest.
He did say as well, Craig did, because I sort of like jumped onto his stream like when it happened, and Craig said, I spoke with my missus, and she said like, I've got half an hour or whatever. So he did justify that, but whatever.
Yeah,
also, Phil saying the whole, he's monetizing bullying, and I would never do that. It's like, dude, you literally, like a couple of weeks ago, did a bullying stream with Kino Casino on Review Tech. Like, okay, Review Tech's an asshole, but shut up.
Guys, now we give a disclaimer for those. If you give a disclaimer, I forgot to give the disclaimer, by the way. We don't condone bullying anybody here on this show. Please do not bully. We don't do bullying. We don't condone anything. All right, guys, let's start the bullying here. Let's do some bullying like we do on the show. That we're fine if we say that before, right? That's what Philip does. Go
That's
ahead.
the-
What's you gonna say?
that's
That
the-
go ahead, Ludacris.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was just going to quickly say that it reminds me of the old Leafy is here sort of thing at the beginning of the video, like, please don't attack anyone I'm talking about. And then he goes into slagging everyone off for like fucking 20 minutes. It's like, all right.
Well, I was gonna say this clip we just watched where he told Craig to flush himself down the toilet. It got ads on it, by the way. This is the definition of monetized bullying. That whole clip is meant to actually cyberbully Craig.
Yes.
And it got ads on it.
And receive money for it. Sound good? I think that's the definition of monetize the haters. Maybe that's just me, though. Maybe that's just me. He is getting owned in the comments, though. Even the casino LARPers can't save him here. You really came off like a child here, especially at the end. That's not the win you think it is. Oh, man, that last fuck you and you cutting off Craig was not a good look, man. Granted, he did say fuck off on the stream. It didn't cut you off. Why did you chicken out that way, Phil? What a poor look at the end. This was cringe, weird, and did not make you look good the way you think it does, especially at the end. You're obviously not going to seriously consider anyone's points other than those you agree with, but here goes anyways. And this person gives a very detailed explanation. Such a passive-aggressive vibe in the whole thing. You always have to be the one to say the last word, huh? And anyways.
Yep. Right. You mentioned passive aggressive. I am convinced he does not know what passive aggressive means. He thinks it's just when you're mad at someone but not like acting on it.
Yeah. I think
he had passive aggressive-ness towards me. I swear he doesn't know what it means.
It's interesting.
My favorite one of them is conception.
That Meerkat shooting himself then.
Go ahead.
That was a beer being opened. Just so you know.
Yeah, conception.
Conception, where he's like, Keem, the conception of your show is it's scripted. It's like, you mean perception.
He said
like,
that 3 or 4 times.
Inception, whatever.
It wasn't a one-time thing. That was 3 or 4 times he said it just like that, by the way. It wasn't a one-time thing.
Yeah, well, 2 of them were on the same stream, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I promise we'll read contributions at the end here, but I do want to play last night as well because I think it's very relevant to this. So, again, now we get to the interview and, the debunk of the... a debunk of the documentary, and we get to this moment, and Phil said, of course you're not going to talk about this, how my, rise to, I'm the coolest guy on the internet anymore. They're not going to get to that, though. But he has to explain the situation. This is about 3 or 4 minutes. I do want to play this, though, because it's very interesting how Philip's story is kind of, much different when Craig's not in the room to say anything, you know what I mean? So let's hear how Philip explains this, and he says one line that I cannot believe.
The fallout from this was that at the end of this interview, which June apparently he missed or forgot, the offer was still on the table. That if I wanted to send Craig the information, I could, because I told him I still would like to maybe do that to prove the whole situation and what was going on. So now you know the situation. I told you yesterday in part 3 of this react. Yes, I was still playing the game, but I didn't have the ownership of the account anymore, so I couldn't show the account or anything. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to basically show the new account, show how it ties to stuff that relates to me. This is my account now, right? And see if there was a way that I could show the old account. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to figure all this out. But anyway.
Bro, all you gotta do is just show it to the fucking camera. That's all you have to do. Open the app on your phone and show it to the camera so we can see what your name is. You don't need to fucking dig up your Apple account to confirm that it's you, because he wasn't gonna do that anyways. Wasn't gonna take fucking screenshots of whatever and send them to Craig.
No, but he has to make it sound like this huge thing that he has to do. I have to gather up all this information and collect it all, and put it together in a format, and then send you the documents and all this. It's like, no, it's just screenshot, email, sorted.
He's acting like he's putting together his like college thesis or something to send this shit, and really he wants to send the old account to prove it. So there's my question about this one: is what changed from yesterday? Just using words to describe how you already sold the account and now I have a new one, which is what he did yesterday. Remember, I sold it, now I have it, and I'm a new account. No proof was shown at all. Why couldn't we just do that then? What changed now? You could have tried to say this and show your new account name, and there it is. Nothing
Also,
changed since then.
Craig being in that situation, he could have said that, and then he could have sent Craig his new account and said, Craig, this new account I'm sending you is because I sold the old account, and then he could even send Craig the proof of purchase of the first account, because he doesn't want to show that to people, which I get, But he could say, Craig, I'll also show you the proof of purchase so you can, and then that would have been like, Craig could have said, yeah, I can confirm he does have a new account. It's not down from the rafters.
Yeah.
And he's just shown me the sale thing. There,
That's
done.
it. And of course, I do want to say this always. Would detractors not believe it? Yes, but detractors are not the whole fucking internet. The public perception would be massively different, I think, if Craig would say to him, guys, I saw it. It's not him. And of course, some people wouldn't have believed it. But it would have been something.
You know how we've all been like, about it.
Yeah.
It's like back then, if this would have happened back then, it would have been huge. Because we'd have all been like, oh God, finally confirmation. And now it's like, we're just so ground down with information and evidence that we're like, yeah, it's him.
So anyway.
The point of like changing public perception to that level has passed. That was it there.
Oh, yeah.
And he fumbled it.
Now as we'll hear, hold on.
That was the offer, was that you could still do it. You could still send it to me. And we literally ended the
That's
interview
true, Prime.
saying, this is a possibility. I could do it I could do it right away. I could do it tonight. Okay. And then the interview ended, and I went on my stream and I said, it was rough, but I think it went fine. I have no issue with the way they conducted the interview or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that night, and this is all documented by Craig. Craig literally read all these emails I'm about to tell you about live on my interview today from his own now. So Craig, literally, I sent him an email right after this. Probably, I would say,
Thinking about it.
Really?
Yeah, let's
Man,
come up
this is
with
a very believable story going on right here, guys. Look at this face. Yep, 10, yep, detractors.
It was right after dinner. Yes.
Something that made a lot of sense that Craig mentioned was, why not just show all this proof on your own platform?
Like, always has that
especially
option.
now that people like you. Why don't you prove to everybody that you sold the account? Every time you buy or sell something on the internet, there's an invoice that you get mailed on your email. That always happens. Every time there's a transaction made. Why not just fucking show it? What are you hiding?
Truth does not fear verification.
Put up a post on your community post on YouTube.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a tweet. Doesn't have to be a stream. Put up a post.
He sends me.
I'm trying to fast forward past this
I send him an
filibustering.
email saying, I'm still 50-50 about this, but I think it went well.
I'm still 50-50.
I can trust you. Are you actively checking your email? Because I would like to send you this stuff like right now. Okay.
And he didn't check it for 23 hours after that. So he sent an email to see if he was checking it, didn't get a response, which is kind of like an answer to say, I'm not really checking it. And then that's the crux of this whole problem with Craig, is because he didn't check that. But hold on.
Everyone is on the edge of their seat.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to make a quick guess. You're the only one that checks email regularly, and the rest of us don't. Because it's like so incredibly normal to just not check your emails that much, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
So I reckon like me and Meerkat and Silly to Chris are not like, it's been a while since we've logged into our inboxes, but I think you're a bit more like, you communicate with people a lot more and you do stuff with WPIG and that, so you're probably on emails more often.
Yeah. But like, it's not...
Just to say it's a normal thing, to not check your email for that long, isn't it?
Yeah. In business, even 24 hours is even in business, and this is far from a fucking business situation here. You know what I mean? It's not close to that.
You see, a lot of people think that I'm...
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, could he have not as well have just DM'd him on Twitter and said, hey, can you check your email in the next 5 minutes, or can you tell me when you're ready to check your email, because I want to send it to you so you can see it instantly. And then he could just DM go, yeah, send it now, and then he could be checking his email. I know that's like a really easy thing to think of, but obviously
it's too easy. Stop saying logical stuff, okay? Keep the logical shit out of here.
I think DSP absolutely knew he could do that. He just decided not to, because he wants Craig not to check this, because he wants not to have to prove anything to anybody, because he's lying.
Huh?
So he's looking for the first opening he can get to weasel out of this whole thing. And now he used it, and he's using it as a shield for the whole concept, the whole thing with champions.
Yep. So let's hear. I'm trying to fast forward a little bit here, because I have one moment I really got to find here.
Saying, well, no, we don't want anything from you.
Yep.
Because basically, after the interview went offline, there's no way we could trust you anymore. It could all be faked. I'm thinking into my head, that's not what we agreed to. You literally said in the interview, I have time. I can get you this stuff and send it to you via email. This is what we said. I contact you to do it. You ignore me. You do a hate session on me. And now you're telling
reading super chats that they could have read when you were actually there, but they chose not to, and they read the next day. Go ahead, hate session.
You know you don't even want it anyway. So he revealed in those emails he had no intention of ever giving me a fair shake. He was convinced that everything that I said was a lie, probably before the interview started, by my detractors. His intention.
No. That was you, Phil. That was you. By the end of that interview, Craig may have been convinced that everything you said was a lie. That's because of you. You had 5 hours to put your case to him and say, I'm not a liar. And you failed at that. That's you.
Even if you had...
He admitted to lying.
Yeah, he admitted it himself.
Yeah, then you were lying anyway, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, if I was you, I wouldn't believe me either kind of sort of logic, wasn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
Even
They're
if
like, Phil,
Craig
do you
went in
expect
there...
us to believe like this detractor is spending all money and all
man.
that stuff? And he's like, yeah, okay, I admit it looks a bit dodgy from your position. I won't believe me either.
That interview is even more rewatchable now. I'm thinking of going back and watching it because now I know in retrospect he admitted to lying about all of this shit. It's not just we were convinced he was lying. He just straight up said, I'm lying.
Yeah, you can find the lying tells.
Of course, 1,000% the bank leaks are his. 1,000 million%.
A million.
He committed
trillion.
He committed fraud. He admitted to this. He lied about the whole champion. So a bunch of at least 3 hours of that interview is just him straight up lying, and now we have confirmation he did.
Yeah,
Probably
does
he probably did think of black when he was making that slavery joke. It wasn't Adam that brought race into it.
Yeah. What can we believe from that interview is now the question. What is not a lie in the interview?
You know what? I know something he wasn't lying about is that he has no friends and his only social relationships are his stream chat.
Correctamundo.
Actually, he has loads of friends. He's just not going to name them because they're not online.
So
they're in Canada.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends. They live in a different country.
Right. Name one. There's Mike.
There's
I was just going to say microphone. He's a great friend of mine.
Jasper Smith.
Confession live in his show by showing him the Down from the Rafters account, and then everyone on the internet would forgive me or not, but then he would have the scoop.
This is a new thing, new idea,
right?
Yeah.
He would have the big slamming. Oh my God. They can't believe the side scrollers got it, but they got it. They got Phil to admit this. This is amazing, right? It would have blown everyone away.
Remember. Yeah, go ahead.
He wanted it all along for this to be the scoop. Because he said, I want this to be the end-all be-all answer for all the questions. He designed this to be the scoop and then lied about everything. And then when confronted with this, he just said, who cares if I lied? I gave you an answer.
I want this to be the one place people go to get the true story. That is how he set up this interview. I want this to be the one place people go to get the final story. I'm not answering about all that shit anymore. It's going to be here. And he was lying about almost everything. But we got to believe him about the debunk of the documentary, though. Definitely believe him on that one. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah. Like every documentary that gets made from this point forward has to be based around the central premise that he is a pathological liar. Because there's no other way to tell this story now. Everything has been tainted by this. You can't trust him on anything.
He will lie straight to your face, even in person. I mean, nice to his audience every fucking day. That's level one thinking. Everyone understands. Even his own fans know that. But now, even when in an interview, go ahead.
He'll like you say, he'll lie to your face, but then he'll say, "I don't know why you're mad that I lied. It was an answer."
He owes an apology to Secret Limited as well, doesn't he? Massively.
Yeah.
Massive. Because he called him mentally ill, I believe. I think that's even the worst of it. I think it was worse, right?
Yeah. All the while knowing that he's full of shit. It's like, what kind of dickhead?
Again, detractors can never get a W. I'd rather keep a pedophile in my community than give detractors a W. That is not there's not one word of that is spin. That is from his own mouth. I'd rather keep Derek around than give the detractors a win. All right, so that's where we're at.
Like a lightning rod, weren't it? For like, if the pedo goes, they'll make fun of other people. So best to keep him around. Like, yeah, that's a good logical reason for keeping a pedo around.
Yeah.
But he does it in his spare time, you guys. He's just a bit of pedoing on the side. He won't ever do it here.
That logic is godlike, though. If I ban this one pedophile, they're gonna investigate all my other pedophile fans. Yeah. And by the way, there's more than one. I know of another one, Sir Acid Face. He's absolutely a bona fide pedophile.
Yes.
Oh, this is what happens when you tell like sexual jokes to try and attract 13-year-olds. Like, this is what your audience becomes.
Yeah.
Might be some truth to that, huh?
Holy shit. That's what it was.
Okay, no one cares. I'm trying to get to that moment.
He just decided to fuck this guy. I'm going to instead completely side with the detractors, bully this guy, make a lot of money off of it.
Okay. Not true at all, but go ahead. Yep. You keep
Today
going.
on my podcast, he was a guest, and I grilled him on this. And I said, by the way, Craig, later on, you did another show, and you actually literally called it Monetize the Detractors. Oh. And all you did, you had my detractors show up to talk shit about me, and you accepted donations the entire stream. That was literally it. And his excuse was, well, it's because you talked shit about me. You snaked me. You treated me like dirt. You didn't give me a chance to actually,
Mario Faker got it. 236. This is what I want to hear. The moment.
But yeah, I think it went well. And I'm thinking I can trust you. Are you actively checking your email? Because I would like to send you this stuff like right now. Okay. And he goes, no response at all. Now think about this. The interview ends. Everyone is on the edge of their seat. A lot of people think that I'm a liar, right? A lot of people think that I'm a liar because of this interview. Rightly so, because I was lying about the game, right? I mean,
definitely. What the fuck?
Why would you say this?
Thank you so much, Mario Faker. I will play that one more time. Excuse me. I apologize, everybody. I do want to play that one more.
Oh my god.
Dude, this is not real, man. This cannot be real. All right, here we go. And we're pissed about Craig, by the way, for not believing our lies at this point. This is what the whole thing is about. Craig didn't believe me the next day, said he didn't believe me, shit on me for not believing me. But let's hear it from Philip. Come on.
Response at all. Now think about this. The interview ends. Everyone is on the edge of their seat. A lot of people think that I'm a liar, right? A lot of people think that I'm a liar because of this interview. Rightly so, because I was lying about the game, right? I mean, definitely. And here's my chance.
How? Oh my god. What a moment.
To be pissed at it as well, man. Like, I'm pissed that people think I'm a liar, but I was lying, so, I wanted to get it out there.
This is like an unironically amazing comedic moment. Like, if he actually tried to have a punchline here, he nailed it. Dude, this is hilarious.
This is Michael Scott right here. Like, this would be in The Office right there. 100%. 100%. Yeah, a lot of people think I'm lying. Well, of course I am, because I was lying about that, but still. That's what we're doing here.
A lot of people think I'm lying. That might be all the lies.
It's like, man, that was... And remember, we're pissed at Craig for not believing our lies. That is what the whole bottom of this issue is. We're pissed at Craig for the next day not just buying what I said. And you know what? They were fucking right. And now we're still trying to pretend we got a felt on Craig because we hung up on him? Is that what we're doing here? Because he didn't answer an email in 23 hours? It's wild.
Shows as well the overhyping with him. Like Craig said, I haven't thought about you in fucking forever. Like, and feels like thought about him every fucking day. And here he's saying everyone was on the edge of their seats after the interview, waiting for like some blah blah blah, all this bollocks, right? It's like we know full well Craig had just put up with 5 hours of this fucking tedious wanker, right? And he's been lied to for a whole fucking show. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when doing DSP videos, just watching like an hour of his content, I just want to die by the time it's over. He's gone 5 hours straight with this guy, and he's been lied to for all of it, and feels like everyone was on the edge of their seats. No, I imagine Craig just wanted to be far fucking away from you. You expect him to be at his fucking computer refreshing his emails every 5 seconds. He had enough fill for the day. Like, fuck that guy.
Getting lied to for 5 hours would kind of drain on you, you know? Getting lied to your face and your audience. I mean, that's wild. I know we're gonna talk about it again, but there's one moment in this react here where he talks about honesty, and it fucking hits. want to get right here. Right here. This is so this fucking hits like a ton of bricks. I do want to
Also,
play this.
before you play this,
Yeah, go ahead.
I wonder in how many of those segments where he just outright lied about champions, he said he was going to be honest, transparent, or I'm going to be clear, or any of those. I wonder.
This is to that point. Let's not talk. Let's just let it play. It's like 15 seconds. I think. This is
contradiction.
I guess.
Wait. Sorry. I want to hear the talk up. June handles this beautiful.
This had reached a state that existing evidence hardly did anything. Most were already convinced that Phil had a mobile gaming addiction, and those unwilling to engage with the evidence were already unreachable in their misplaced trust of Phil, who lives in contradiction.
I guess for some people, honesty is not the best policy. To some people, lie, I guess. I don't know. You have to be a moron. I'm sorry. I mean, how dumb can you be to not understand?
Yep, laugh at it, huh?
Being honest about something, right, is the right thing to do. Oh my God, something happened with Jasper. I could completely lie to you guys to try to get sympathy and make money. I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm going to be honest and upfront with you. I'm not going to ever lie to you and tell you things that aren't true, because I'm not that kind of person. But for some people, that's not good enough, I guess.
The truth. I work for more.
Whatever.
Clinic. I
Fuck
came
those
here
people.
To help you.
Phil lies so much, it is hard to know what is fake or fact. His bankruptcy files remain king due to them being legal forms. Then you have lesser evidence like the Discord screenshots or even the bank leaks that could theoretically be faked, but the coordination and dedication would make these chances minuscule. Yet Phil gravitates more towards wild theories himself as a way to overrepresent them and paint the detractor community poorly as a way to also dismiss the valid criticism. And this somewhat works with his fans who have been doxxed, are people with disabilities, are socially inept, or are just lonely.
Or all of the above.
You hear how many words Phil said during that whole clip I just played? How many pauses did we get there? Because we have nothing to say. We have nothing to say.
There was there was an amazing clip of June straight up ripping into him, and then DSP pauses it and says, "Hey, the 3D animation of my office is pretty neat, you guys."
I put that on my Twitter if you want to check it out. Yeah, that's it's pretty intense. The levels, and that's what I mean. You know, we said it before, but if you're willing to put up with that, so like June just said some pretty he said like if you're lonely, socially inept, or mentally ill. Now, that's a big fucking statement to say about anybody. That's a very derogatory thing to say. Imagine someone said that about that being said. Everyone's of that. But if you can sit and take someone lying to you like that, and then go and say honesty is the best policy, and you're still a fan of this person, there is no way on this universe that June is not correct there. You have to fall into one of those three camps, or there's no other way way about it. You have to be in one of those three camps, or unless you're a big LARPer and want to have fun with giving money, and that's something else. Or Findom,
yeah. And that's why DSP fans are always the losers, because like the guy's shit sucks. You're giving him money. He's lying to you, and he can't help himself because he's legitimately just fucked up like this, and there's no cure for this. He's gonna be like this eternally. And you're just falling for it, even though you should know better and you can know better, and people are trying to tell you better, but you don't want to listen, so you just keep taking the L's. Well, it sounds like it sucks.
A lot of fun.
If you're in that camp at this point, you have been in it for years, likely. People like your Jades and your Dereks and your Kevins.
Yeah.
They've been in it for years. They've got too much invested in it. So when it does come out that, hey, Phil does actually play champions, and hey, Phil has been lying to you, and hey, Phil has been manipulating you for your money so that he can spend it on a mobile game, you can't really disconnect yourself from it because you've got nothing else. You've got no other social life. You've got no other social network. You've got no people that can pull you out. People like Panda and Arkham Edits who've escaped have done so because they've had social networks and other friends and other socializing opportunities and other ways to spend their time that's not around ESP and giving him money. But like, you're that into it now that you can sit there and watching himself say that and watching him knowing that he's lying when he's saying that, and you know as well, we all know that he's lying about everything at this point, and still want to give him money. It's ow.
I guess in a way, like Phil is like their WWE champions.
Yeah,
They're putting money into him and getting nothing back. And the way that you just described that is perfect, because Phil was saying like, I can't give up on this game. I've put too much into it. And it's like that with them. And we can't give up on Phil. We've put too much into him. He puts money into WWE champions and gets a JPEG of Hulk Hogan. They put money into Phil. He puts on a Sonic hat. Yep. So it's just an addiction, isn't it?
And I do think there is something
sunk cost bias. It's a thing. But,
sunk cost bias. Because I was going to say, like, even people that have done fucked up shit, like Ricada and stuff, right? People, let's say, like Ricada's real fans. I'm talking about, like, they've been following him for years, right? They love heavy stuff. Even when these accusations come out, like his kids are addicted to drugs, they still stick up for him. Because hold on a second, if I admit this is true, then I'm kind of an asshole too for the last 4 years. What have my last 4 years meant? I've been supporting this dude. I thought this dude was really cool. And if this is true, all of those thoughts I had about how I thought he was cool, and it's kind of goes away. And that can be kind of a negative feeling, right? Is what? I don't want to, hold on a second. I can't believe that. For 4 years, I thought I was a really cool guy. And then I'm getting told he's not from this one fact. And you kind of can, some people can kind of just switch that part off in their mind and say, I don't believe that, actually. There's some bullshit here, because they don't want to lose those feelings they invested, right? And especially if you're to believe this documentary about some of Phil's fans, or Phil was accused of this as well, being hyper-focused, let's say, as Philip likes to say. I think it's even higher chance of that, right? Of saying, like, I've been here for 6 years. And Philip's chat, and who gives a shit if what they say? All right, well, I've been lying to you 7 years, brother. I've been playing a mobile game for 7 years. I said, if you don't give me chips today, I might have to eat lunch meat sandwiches, and I wouldn't like that. Give me money. Even though he said that, I've given Phil 6 years now. If I now side with the detractors, that's an L for me. You know? And I think that's part of it.
Yeah, very true.
You know, it's bad as well, because before it was like an echo chamber. It was like the detractors make their content and Phil will go, don't listen to him, guys. He's just nonsense. Don't even listen to him. So they could all be in the bubble and be like, Phil's good. He says he's good. We don't hear otherwise. But now he's literally reacting to documentaries and detractor content, which are like saying, like, reacting to this June thing is insane. But somehow it works. Like, because his fans are just like, whatever, man. We don't care.
Amazing. Well, we're in super chats here.
Like somebody said earlier,
go ahead.
He just beats you into submission. And those people, he's been beating them into submission for a long time. And at this point, they don't fucking care. I don't blame Kat for not caring about anything, because, like, she got to live with this specimen. And you can, oh man, if you saw the Craig discussion, you can see how every single discussion goes in the Burnell household. She's just beaten into submission, and this guy wins, and everything goes his way every time.
Always the last word, probably ignoring half the shit she says, like he did with Panda.
Yeah.
And Phil was kind of flexing, like she doesn't talk to her family. She has a new life here. She doesn't talk to any of her family. She lives here with me. All right, we'll read super chats here. Big ups everybody for chilling today. We will be back on. Oh fuck! One more thing I want to show. Get ready for the Felteenth, everybody.
Oh my god.
Trigger warning, cringe. Felteenth. Phil will be interviewing June the King.
He did a tweet like saying, guys, I'm sorry about the drama. Next week there'll be no more drama. And then an hour later he posted this tweet saying, drama next Friday. Like, well, that lasted long.
Come back.
Yeah, I was going to mention this because he started to see the diminishing returns of the King saga.
Yep.
And he remembered, oh, wait, I need to actually appeal to all the fucking idiots that supported me for the last 10 years and paid for my entire living. So no drama, you guys. I'm sorry. Come back, please.
Yep. Because on that note, last night, he had to have $110 or something, literally at the sign off to save the streak. And I know streaks or whatever they are, but he was definitely, he had a kind of a soul searching ending there. I know it was to kind of stall, just like he always did, to keep the streak going. But I think there might be something to that mentally, like, all right, hold on a second, I got to reel it in here, because maybe this King thing isn't going to carry me for the rest of my fucking life, like he thinks right now. And then he did say, back to normal, guys. And then, June's coming on. That'll be fun. 15th. Hell yeah.
Maybe even his buddies over at the casino started ignoring his messages or something. Because it sounds like he isn't as hype with them as he used to be.
And I do want to show you this picture here. How many tweets does he do? There it is. I'll read this for you here. This is, "Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye pearls before swine." And that was to that, however you like.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the bit about charity with Craig. Craig
Right,
was
Sunday,
like, "I'll give this
Sunday. Sunday we'll be back.
Can I
We
just
can
say,
do it.
I wanted him to say, like, when he said pick a charity, name a charity, I really wanted him to go, Burnout Productions. Just to see if he could get away with
it. Also, I want to say this comment I thought was pretty interesting. Again, this is someone's theory, but I'll read it real quick. "Phil, you are being gassed up by the bad guys. They know that you put out the best content to mock. When you're riding an ego high, there are a lot of people in bad faith lying to you right now, saying they are fans. You're getting money from people that are paying for the show. You're a movie they don't want to see end. Please see reason. This is getting really hard to watch. The fact you think Craig looks bad as a result of this interview is shocking. I implore you to rewatch without pride in mind." Good luck. "Try and see things from his perspective. A man that was lied to, then the person lying demanding an apology because he didn't check his email. Please, dude, this is not a good look." And I thought that was a very comment.
Phil is not going to try to see things from Craig's perspective. Conception. He's just incapable of it. He can't. He's a narcissist. So he's never going to be able to think, well, hang on a minute. Yeah, if I was lied to a lot. Because he just assumes that other people would lie to him anyway. So, 'cause that's what he'd do.
And the fun continues on Sunday. We got hopefully TJ Gamebox in there, but I'm sure we'll have a hype show no matter what. I do want to read super chats out now. I got a speed run, but I will definitely. We appreciate everything. Guys are fucking legends. Very meaningful, curated, conception, and felt it. Twins, 5 membership bomb. Big ups, Twins. Greedo the Green with a membership. Big ups. Oberken says studying Phil from a psychoanalyst perspective. That's what Steve does.
Oh, that'd be fun. I did want to do a bit of psychoanalysis at one point, but yeah. It's mainly narcissism and personality disorders here.
When's the video coming out, by the way? Come on, Steve. Everyone's waiting. Now you got us all gassed up.
It's 7 hours. It's up in 7 hours.
I can only get so erect. Come on. Apologize.
I'm working on it. It's coming.
Okay. Thank you. Theo Kid with the membership. Nervous Noodle says ALT needs to take a year off after this insane week. Yeah, I will be taking at least tomorrow off. Nothing tomorrow. And let's ass. Gray Lobster says, Ludacris was my gateway drug to the Snortverse all those years ago. Big ups, Gray Lobster. Yeah, Ludacris. Your first video came out what year?
2013.
2013.
When I was the hottest thing on YouTube back then. Something of an innovator. I'll give you my business cards later.
Oh, please. Third Bruce says, Phil couldn't sell his statues and Blu-rays because of the trolls, yet he wants us to believe that he sold his WWE Champions account. Craig, you might want to say something for this? Make it make sense. Somehow make it make sense. Shonkgasm says, oh boy, here I go buying Candy Crush clone whale account with the shit reputation as one can't wait to experience Extreme Endgame $1,000 later. Yeah, why would someone want to buy that? Also, if you did any research into that, I mean, I'm assuming whales will do research. Who knows? Another question to add to the pile of questions to ask about selling your account way back in 2020, which, by the way, if that is to be believed, he still has spent tens and tens of thousands of dollars because the last Discord message, which he admitted was true, was from 2020. So that's 3 years of heavy spending. Extreme spending before he sold the account, if you believe him, which I advise against.
Also, as of the time that he took Jasper to the vets, he still had his old iPhone because he showed us the picture of Jasper at the vets.
Fuck, I forgot about that. I forgot about the whole thing. So, God. So he says during this, real quick. I promise it's quick.
You're sending me.
Sorry, everyone.
To show me that you have a second. This could be a second account, right? Especially because keep in mind, at this time, I don't have the iPhone anymore.
At this time, I don't have the iPhone anymore. Well, let's check about that. Here is from July 9th, 2023. He is holding up an iPhone. That would be 5 months after the interview. Doesn't stop there. We have a September 13th, 2023. That would be, 6 months after the interview. That is an iPhone in his hand. And again here, this is July 14th, 2023. That is an iPhone in his hands. 4 months after the interview. So again, we are just lying right to your face. It's not like we have a track record of doing anything like that, do we? Okay. Moving forward positively. Hopeside Phil says, is Craig supposed to sit there and take it? Well, Phil tries to destroy Craig's character. And let's not forget, Phil, just 2 weeks ago, said the side scrollers and Craig to go fuck themselves. I know. What was Craig supposed to do? Just lay there like a bitch and let Philip, berate his character for the whole time? Yes, you're right, Phil. I'm an asshole. Thank you. Please, felt. Commence the felting. But luckily, Craig did not have any idea to do that. Juan says, also very weird that the amount of money Down from the Rafters spends lines up very closely to the amount of tips he gets, at least according to TJ Gamebox, but what does he know about the game? Yeah, TJ Gamebox, he doesn't know anything. Hater, dude. He's a dirty detractor. Anshul Misra says, please make a compilation of Phil acting clueless about WB and then cutting to him admitting it, then cutting to him spending on stream on loop. Big ups, Anshul. We got to get Nerd Brew or someone on that. Ed Robertson says, big ups, gents, for everything over the past 2 weeks. You have kept us entertained while Becca has been recovering from her op. Big shout outs to you. Good luck. Hope everything goes well there, Aid. And Becca, of course. Francisca says, is Cat down from the rafters? No. Grisbro says, according to the Kino, because he's not Ralph or Raquetta, we should just let all this slide. I never said that. That's what kind of our thoughts on that is, because he's not Hitler, he's not that bad, right? Next shout outs to Gray Lobster, who says, KC Simps are done as their channel. Great, I'm not sure what that means. Kino Casino Simps are done, as is their channel. Rest in peace. No, I don't think that's going to happen. That is not going to happen. They'll be fine. They're the ones that are making... Yeah. They're going to be fine once this is all over. The person that won't be fine is DSP. They will be totally fine. And some would say... I'm happy they started this, because holy shit, man. I'm very happy this arc happened, because craziest week ever, top 3. Can't argue that, because of... the blowing of smoke up his ass. Hell yeah. Oddly Insane says, oh, by the way, this comment, Philip, you don't pay attention to this. This is a lie. Do not pay attention to this. Do not take any advice from this.
This entire thing, and I'm not kidding, is Review Tech USA's fault. Because he fired Jay, which made Kino Casino start A-logging him aggressively, which made them invite DSP onto the podcast, and the rest is history. So thank you, Rich. This is the most meaningful thing you've ever done on the internet, is fire your editor.
Thank you, Rich, for being such a colossal fuck up that June makes the documentary about you that gets Phil onto Kino Casino, that gets him followed this, that gets him prepared to react to his own documentary that June has also made. So
also,
really, thanks, June.
Also, thanks to you take for the beats. Everyone loves those. Thank you so much. Utterly Insane says, Down for the Raptor still spends DSP's tips exactly regularly. Down for the Rafters still spends DSP's actual tips exactly. That's a hardcore troll right there. Greed of the Green says, and he skipped over quitting WB Champions for Kat. Remember? He promised her he was done, and he told us he was an alcoholic, so $300 a week for booze is okay, right? Oh, yeah. Gotta go, but he said it was $300 a week on booze, and he said, guys, I already told you I'm an alcoholic, okay? Like that's you're fine, okay?
Yeah, guys, that's fine. No problem.
if you show a picture of an image of me murdering someone, guys, I already admitted I'm a murderer. This means nothing, okay? Come on, huh?
Just coping at that point.
That footage of him putting his hand on that bottle, and that bottle's just fucking massive.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Johnny 5 with a membership. Meth Bear, big to 50. Big ups Meth Bear. He says, Phil's acting like the girl who rode the carousel. Gotta read this carefully here. Phil's acting like the girl who rode the carousel, caught 100 bodies, but met the marrying kind. She suddenly became a different person, grew, changed, and doesn't do that anymore, but she's still a hoe. Here we go, Meth Bear, big ups. Cray says, I'm dying to know what just how much Cat knows about his addiction and spending. I'm guessing very little. Anyone argue with that in the panel?
Nope.
Bernie Black says, it's still unbelievable he thinks Craig was mad that he didn't get his big YouTube moment, and not that he was lied to for 5 hours. We didn't get our big YouTube moment. That's what was important there. Like, enough eyes weren't already watching that fucking interview. Matt in the house, big ups with membership. Utterly Insane says, he didn't go line by line. There's no second meeting in the bankruptcy proceedings. Only the call that was recorded. Yes, that is true. Beth Bear said, when you do a bankruptcy, all the meetings have to be recorded. And Philip said they did go line by line through everything, but that was not recorded in the bankruptcy, which is against the law or against the normal practice, let's say.
Yeah, it violates the rights of the people collecting the debt from the debtor.
Oh,
yeah.
Big old fat X on that. Danny the DK says, it's annoying he thought lying on an interview is fine and it doesn't matter because it's an answer. He's a pathological liar. Bank leak, down from the rafters are him. Big ups, Danny. Silas Sama says, give her a pill? That's a coat, man. That's a coat, bro. Come on. Nervous Noodle says, Steve, now you know where to move to next. Steve, next video, you already got it. Nervous Noodle says, hey, Dad, if we can reach a tier 3 tip goal, you can drive my BMW for a week. Sound good? That's the dad tip goal. All right, guys. Tips help more than anything, Daddy, if you want to buy the BMW. Kenneth Douglas says, oh, Ludes, it's nice to see you on a podcast. Please show the streams of support. DSL, you guys. Popeye laugh. Keep up the great work, guys. Big ups, Kenneth. Big ups to Ludacris, obviously, for joining. Dominic says, my favorite line was when Craig said, I haven't thought about this in 18 months. Yep, we played that one, Dominic. And because that was Phil's, we kind of been a feud since the interview, right? No, actually. Joshua says, Phil Felted Little Kids has tipped $2. Big up, Joshua. E5150 says, Dear Craig, I wrote you, but you ain't calling. I left my cell, my Discord, and my lineup at the bottom. Legend. Nervous Noodles. To understand DSP's logic, just eat more crayons. Okay. What color do you recommend? The Adjaman with the membership. Lyrical Thesis says, Meerkat got clapped by Super Crazy. Thoughts? Comment, Meerkat, or not? Your choice.
Where?
Yep.
Where? He literally apologized to me on Pescator's stream. He apologized because I made him look like shit while he was begging people for $10,000 to go on his personal jihad against the guy who doesn't even know he exists. So, yeah, anytime he needs some more of that, I'm open, dude.
To be fair, Phil does know that Super Crazy exists. He's dropped that name.
Yes,
and also now tractors recently. So yeah.
Brand Dude also got a shout out. Brand Dude, we're Duty, Brand Dude, Tevin, and Super Crazy are the 4 go-to now that are the worst. The devils of the earth. Binoho in the house says, I gotta remember this for my future exams. Who cares if it's wrong? It's still an answer. Yeah, tell your teacher that. Who cares if it's wrong? It's still an answer. Damn bitch. Yes says, valedictorian has a tenuous grasp on English. Very tenuous grasp on English, yes. ES says, when is Melanie Mac gonna be on TBS? Well, we gotta suck her or something first, right? We'll get Ludacris on that one. That's your job, Ludacris. Iwamoto says, please don't use this to bully the pig. Love to everyone. Big ups, Iwamoto. Sunspot Gallery says, are his snorts cured now? Big ups all. Appears like it, huh? Really appears like the snorts are kind of gone away these days. Only when a gameplay starts do they come back. Who's Poppin' says, I don't give a fuck. Phil has fucked himself yet again. Correct? Who's Poppin' says, Craig is the fall guy. Craig called him out. Correct. Ice Age says, did he even say the website he allegedly sold the account on? Wouldn't that help the lie? Everything is just so vague to make this believable. He could have said a lot of information. Even just the like, I don't know, the amount you sold it for. Anything close to proving that point would have been helpful. But no, just trust us, all right? YouTube commenter says, after a week of fail lying every day, I can hear ALT turning heel more and more on him. And I'm here for it. As for Meerkat and Steve, well, you can go F. Go. You got YouTube commenter. Derp level critical says, I'm telling you the truth now. Why would I lie now? Why aren't you guys believing me? How the fuck did we get here? Crazy arc. Big ups. NWO says, an innocent, wholesome, trustworthy, honest, transparent, and meaningful style person wouldn't even have detractors in the first place, Philip. Good point. Detractors are a random thing. We just decided to hate on him. Remember that, guys? Don't forget that. Just a random drawing. 94, Bad Boy Boogie says, do you think he will ever get the IRS tax fraud arc? I do not think so.
No.
No.
You know how it goes.
Pipe dream in it.
Alex with the membership. Dominic says he just can't keep up with all the lies. That's where we're at now. ES says they don't reveal the account name he bought. Yeah, he could have said the account name he bought. Would have been at least a help to believe his story, but unfortunately not. That will do it for today, my friends. Ludacris, I'll put your link to your YouTube. What can we expect from the Mr. Ludacris channel? Let us know. Come on.
I really just wanted to end by saying go fuck yourself and then leave. But I'm not going to. I thought that would be funny, but I'm not going to do that. Okay. Yeah, I got a new video tomorrow. I'm going to upload it. It's basically a bit late, but I'm talking about the WWE Champions confession, basically.
Okay.
I go on for nearly an hour. I get very angry. Obviously, I've got the whole 11-year legacy where, I've been calling him out and then he's basically done this. So I was a little bit pissed off. But yeah, if you could watch it tomorrow, click on all the ads on my channel. I'd greatly appreciate that.
Participate, click on all those ads, get that pesky ad block out of here. All right, Steve of the Dead, any final words here?
Yeah, I'd really appreciate if people could fill up the LucasAid coffers because this shit isn't cheap nowadays.
Yes.
Also, I did have a note amongst all of them to mention that while Phil was talking about people like doxing Craig and detractors swarming June and all that and Craig, I mentioned the Detractor Council because while you were with Craig prepping him for the interview, he got an email from someone saying, please stop the interview.
Yep, that was so wild. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And if you haven't heard that story, so I was talking to Craig the night before on some video chat thing, and someone emailed Phil to say the detractor, whatever it was called.
Craig, the Detractor Council or something
like that. It said, don't do the interview. Do not do the interview with Phil. It was fun. Phil's fan. So but yeah, that'll do it. Any final words from Meerkat himself? Superhound. Yeah, it was Superhound.
Go.
Hey, nice.
I was gonna do it too. Now what? All right, you guys, go.
This one goes out to the one and only, the big cat, the fat cat. Big ups. I first saw you in Burger King. You took 2 seats 'cause that ass is way too big. Had a boyfriend, I realized, but you told him lies with your raccoon eyes. The DoorDash is here. Wipe away your tears. Got you extra fries, and they taste just right. Have no fear, there's no trolls here. Kevin made you cry with those raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Kevin made you cry with those raccoon eyes. Take you power walking on the beach, feasting on some sushi like you were a queen. Let me run some errands while you sleep. I can watch you play Skyrim all day this week. Have no fear, there's no trolls here. Kevin made you cry with those raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Kevin made you cry with those raccoon eyes.
tell you guys, every day when I wake up, that's the best day of my life. I feel like this next day is awesome. I have a beautiful wife who I love so much. She loves me and a family, Jasper, and you know, the things we get to do together. You know, I definitely want more time with them and more family time, but I absolutely love my life today compared to how it used to be. Seriously. All those years back then, you'd be like, it's a whirlwind of crap. It was me. And by the way, I've told you guys about my past. How I used to drink way too much. I would be drinking constantly, all the time, because I was so stressed out. Honestly, when I started with this whole thing, I was depressed many years ago, a decade ago. I didn't like my life or anything. And basically, liquor was the way to kind of get through that. You know, it was, I hate my life. I hate who I am. So let me just drink it all away and just keep pumping out fucking YouTube videos. I don't have to do that shit anymore. You know, like, I'm happy with who I am. I actually don't think clicking like on a live stream helps at all. So it really doesn't matter if this stream gets 100 likes or 2. I don't think it affects it.
I mean this with all due respect, Phil. Go fuck yourself.